starting here now while we wait for people to get on. It is Monday. Monday, family show evening. Let's see if I fit in this camera. She's gonna buffer tonight again, eh? As soon as we come on, she starts to buffer. Mm-hmm. Unbelievable. That's what we do. Before the show turns on, she don't buffer. When she turns on, that's when the buffering starts. Happy Monday to everyone. Yes, you see it on the screen. What do you see on the screen? Well, hey, read it. It's right there in front of you. Live, Facebook, 8 p.m., which obviously we're just a wee bit late on the old 8 p.m.ers. But it is the family show, and we're going to take that off the screen. So we see Ricky and myself. Let's see. Ooh, that camera's way, way off tonight. Welcome, everyone. Normally I have her. There we go. There we go.
Perfect.
Come one, come all, or don't come at all. Do we really care? Of course we do. That's why we have invited you to come on to tonight's family show. Let me get to the comments and make sure that we are on. Nobody is on yet, so you know what that means, Ricky. Eh? Oh, wow. They popped up now on YouTube. Good evening, Michael Peevler. Good evening, Peevler. Good evening, Pioneer, David Tracy. Happy Boss Day. Not sure what a Boss Day is, but it's Monday night, so we're going to talk family show. Tonight we got an interesting for people, I say, for every 100 pigeons that you keep, you gain a year of knowledge. You gain a year of knowledge, a year of knowledge, a year of knowledge, a year of knowledge. And in all my years of pigeoning, I've never seen Pox that did this. And we're going to show that there tonight. But guys, remember, like, share, and subscribe. Ricky, we're going to do a beer test. We're testing beer. Now, this is one of Ricky's favorites. Now, this is from Germany, from Dortmund, Germany. It's a beautiful place there. Ricky, have you been there before?
Oh, yeah, I've been there many times. Many times. I spent lots of weeks there.
Weeks there. Yeah. And we're drinking the DAB beer. That's the DAB beer. And interesting on this one, Ricky, she's 7%. Mm-hmm. We're going to split this up 50-50. On the DAB. Guys, remember, if you have questions, comments, and complaints, hey, now's your time to
don't pour a head on it, we don't drink it.
That's right. Remember, guys, if you don't want to be bloated and have the farts, pour your beer with head. Proper ways to go there with that one. Again, she is going to be buffering tonight. Buffering, not bad.
She does look good, doesn't it?
She looks like a dabber, right? Nice beer. Let's try her out.
And notice how it holds its head.
Boy, she does smell good.
In Europe, if you don't pour a head on a beer, they won't drink it.
Not a bad little beer. You know, you would never think it's a 7%er. And I'm just going to get that camera down. Again, guys, people have been asking us, what's going on? When's the final race going to be? Ho, ho, ho. Pioneer one-off race. Sorry, guys. If she's buffering a bit, you're going to have to deal with it. The internet gods just don't like it here. My next pigeon will be named Buffering. Hey, that's a good name for a pigeon. Jeffrey Catania, not bad. Hello, Sherry Tracy. Hello. We will talk Pox here momentarily. Or maybe we should just get right into the Pox. I'm not sure. Now it's cutting my head off, which is annoying me. Good beer.
Nice, eh?
Not a bad beer. Now we got
nice and smooth.
We got a couple different beers we're going to try tonight, and we split these tall boys up.
See, the old head stays right there.
Yeah, it is a good beer. Got a bit of punch at the end, a little bitter at the end. I don't know if it's my favorite.
Well, if you have it a few more times, you'll
drink on a family show. Of course. Well, if you're not drinking and flying pigeons, then you should be at least eating or you should be having a drink. Pigeons and drinking goes hand in hand. There was not one place in Europe that I went to where there wasn't some type of a beverage floating around. Where has Leah been? I don't know. Leah hasn't been around. Remember, can't force anybody to be here. You don't want to be here? Can't force you to. Now let me just, again, that's going to irritate the shit out of me. So sorry about that, guys. I guess, Mark, you don't like the show with just me on it. I thought I was doing a pretty good job. Now, Ricky, you've really picked up the slack a lot. But again, this show works best. We're going to talk pigeons. I think before we start talking about the race program while we enjoy this beer, I am going to show you guys the pox. And let's see how many of you have seen this before. Hey, Joseph, how's it going? Okay, so let's see here. Let's get into the pox, and you guys will see. Here it is. Enjoy, guys. Don't say nothing, Ricky. It's going to talk. So here you see on this bird here, this is a pox where the beak completely falls off the pigeon. You see from underneath there, no more bottom beak.
You see where the big lump of pox is on this side? Yeah. That's ready to fall off as well.
So it's all going to fall off.
That's
there,
all right.
you see it.
Showing the
So,
there.
Look at it.
Oh, poor thing. Jesus.
There you see it, just like that. Let me get back to the views here. Here we are back on, and I'll get to the comments. Everything Pioneer Clan, evening Pioneer Clan. Good evening, Henry Ratter. So there you go. You see the pox on that pigeon. This has been the worst year we've had for pox. Now, very unusual. My one loft birds came down with pox like that. Same pox as that. I had it in the ears and the eyes and everywhere. I didn't have one that lost its beak. Your Pioneer birds, no pox. None whatsoever. Your upstairs birds.
That was a late bred, that one.
Okay, your upstairs race birds had no pox really at all. The odd one, very little. But those late breds you bred, you got about 10 or 12. That's one of them. Now, that pigeon, what happened to him? What was your end result with him? He lost his beak.
Well, I've seen him with the pox. You get that pox in the ears, and this huge lump will come out of his ear, like a size of a piece of like corn.
And it's normally rooted.
And it's kind of rooted. And I found now, if you try and pull that out when it's not ready, it just grows back.
Yeah.
And I've tried to take it out, and then I've taken iodine and put iodine in that spot, trying to kill it, like get rid of it. That doesn't seem to work. So this bird here had that pox on the side of his beak there, and I thought I was going to pull it off. If it was ready, pull it off.
You're waiting.
Yeah, but then the beak just fell right off. The bottom part of the beak just fell right off.
Beak fell off. Now, that bird there, will the beak grow back?
No, I don't think so. That's about it.
That's the end of them. And you'll see them. It grows out of the ears. It can grow out of the feathers. It can grow on the beak, on the nose.
I got one right now, a late bred, and it's got it right on its wattle. And
I seen him out there.
I
The
tried
blue
to
pipe.
try to pull it off, and half his wattle came off.
Right.
Now it's growing back again. His whole wattle is getting. He looks like one of those. What do they call those? German beauties or whatever they call them.
So ABC Lost has a couple questions here. So let me get to his. I'll go in different orders here. Is pigeon pox contagious to humans? Well, I'll be honest with you. I've been picking at pox, and I'll tell you, I pick and I'll probably touch my face. No, it's not contagious. You don't have to worry about that.
It almost looks like a canker, the ones that have it in their ears.
It looks more like a canker than a pox.
Like a canker, and Yeah, it smells like a canker lump.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It,
but it's. I don't know if it's a half-breed canker pox deal. I've never seen canker coming out of their ears though.
I think it's a wet pox. Will you vaccinate for pox? Yes, next year. Yeah, I'm probably going to vaccinate for pox next year. Again, I recommend people, if you do, let me know. I think they'll get vaccinated fairly soon when they come in for it. Pox, you know, so I've seen it. When was the last time we seen pox here? About 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
Yeah, we had it, and it was growing on the feathers on the quills, right when it was coming out of the let's say the wing,
Right.
and then it would grow right there at the skin.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
And it would just
And it was the same kind of pox, but those ones that were on the feathers, man, it took up every wing, all the quills, everything.
Well, now I'm trying now with the cooler weather coming here, an experiment, because almost every nest I raised here, late breds, excuse me, all the young ones got pox. They all got it, but the ones I was flying never had it.
Now, Wilfred asked this question, and how often do you get it? My name is Wilfred. Where does it come from, and how does it attack or attach to the birds? It's just a virus.
I can't believe it, because I got some lofts that they never met any birds that drank out of the same container or anything, and they ended up getting it.
It's so funny because
unless I'm tracking it on my boots, I don't know how.
It's funny. Your cracked tumblers never got it.
Well, yeah, I had a few there with coming out of their ears.
With the babies, though.
Yeah, the young ones.
Not the older ones.
No.
But you got some down in the bottom barn that got it. It's funny. The birds that you put on the trailer here for racing, our two lofts mixed together.
Right.
There was times when we had birds in the basket for 6 hours holding, training.
Right.
So there's a lot of fighting, and you never got it. The way we normally see it being transferred, it didn't happen with you.
Well, take somebody like Troy. Troy's been on our transporter.
Yeah.
Right. And let's say for more than a month.
Yeah. He hasn't got it.
He hasn't got any problems with it, or he hasn't told us.
Well, yeah.
Frank Eichhorn didn't have any problems, and Lou didn't have any problems. Chris Marshman didn't have any problems.
Well, all the people that came on and participated didn't have any problems. But when I was the first loft to get it before all the lofts, and you never got it, being right beside me and being right with those birds. So
yeah, the birds, same aged birds.
Ian Sybil says, I never heard of pox on the wings. Don't you think it was something else? No, I don't. I don't know. Well, we seen what the wet pox looks like. Wet pox, they'll lose their beaks. When you seen it on the quills, again, this was before we did the show. It was something incredible to see. It was like orange lines of dots all on, and they were pussy and big and
pussy. Yeah.
Oh, they never had a canker smell though.
We had it that 1 year, and the next year,
yeah,
I haven't seen it back.
Never seen it back again.
And I heard other flyers had it at the same time.
Yeah,
they'd mentioned it.
You can get it in the ears, the eyes, and the mouth. Wet pox, the beak, wattles, feet, but I never heard on the wings. Yeah, Ian, I'll tell you, when you open up the baby's wings, the late breds, or we got it big time there on them. The quills, as they were coming in, the pox was just growing on them, like it was
right where the quill goes into the body.
Right where it goes into the
wing.
Very, very interesting. Interesting to see it. But there you see that one bird, and you've got the other blue pied there where the wattle's falling off at the top. I
don't know what's going on with that thing.
I should get a video of that for next week and see. Let's see if it'll grow back on.
Probably go and get the bird in here, no problem.
Yeah, if you wanted, maybe we'll do that here in a little bit.
I've got a cracked tumbler upstairs that's got her right on her wattle too. It's like I don't know. And I'm thinking with this, I just want to see with this cool weather coming now,
If it slows it down.
if it stops, right?
Well, when we had the pox on the wings, all of a sudden, like we said, we got that cool weather in the fall,
It just bang.
and it went away. Tony says, pox is an airborne virus, and it can spread through the air, which I'm going to be honest.
I believe it.
I'm going with that 150%.
Although if you read in the book, if a bird takes a drink of water in the same drinker, it'll spread that way. If a bird has pox and he's taken in a bath water, it'll spread that way. But I also believe exactly what Tony said. It must go through the air.
And Dave Crozier says, is it mites? No. I'm going to tell you, it's like pox that you see on the eye, or small pox, but it lines the quills of the feather. They're not mites at all. You can pull them off. They'll bleed.
They're
juicy.
What you call it?
They're gross.
They're like what do you call it?
They're just like cysts. They're open cysts. They're gross.
You know when something's got an infection and it's pus?
The pus. Yeah.
Pussy coming out. Yeah.
But I noticed it didn't smell. Anyways, Tony says here, I have seen that type of very violent type of pox. I've seen pox grow on youngsters' feathers as young as 2 weeks old. And that Tony's seen the same thing we did.
Yeah.
I know I've only talked to about 3 people that have seen it. And man, it literally went through, literally just like you're saying now. Every late bred you've bred, 1 or 2 of them get it. 1 or 2 of them get it.
The funny thing as well, I seen in a nest, one young one's has pox, like real bad around the mouth here, quite bad. And the nestmate, right in the same nest, not one bit of pox on him, nothing, clean.
Right.
So I can't figure it out. The parents don't have pox, didn't get pox, but it also says if they get pox once in their life,
they're good.
They'll never get it, never ever get it again.
So David Tracy asked, would it be a good idea to vaccinate for pox before we ship the birds next year? Again, that's up to you. I remember I think it was Frank Pellicor. He had a real odd way. He would only vaccinate a few birds, and then he'd put his birds out into the aviary, let them fight each other. He'd do it multiple times until it would spread that way.
But the thing is, I think that when you do it that way,
I think it's a worse way.
The vaccine
gives it to them so they get used to
it. You get a little bit into the body, but when you make other pigeons get infected by the pox, that's worse.
Mosquitoes can spread it again.
Yeah.
All over here, there's mosquitoes. What else do I say? It has been or the other lofts all over Ontario. Yeah.
I think it's good to vaccinate before. Some clubs or trailers, if they find out that you vaccinated for pox, you're not allowed on the truck. They have a rule for that.
And I have heard this name before, but Ralph Bachman named this type of pox before. He called it monkeypox. And they say humans have monkeypox, but I don't know. Again, it was an incredible thing to see. But there you see on that bird. And again, for people that are just tuning in and wondering, going, well, what are you talking about? What's this type of a pox and what does it look like?
Here you see on this
I will
bird
show
here.
it to you here again.
This is a pox where the beak completely falls off the pigeon.
Right off.
Yeah. And just to show you here again.
There. No more bottom beak.
You see where the big lump of
Are
pox
you?
is on this side? That's ready to fall.
All right, go grab them.
It's all gonna fall
Go grab
off.
them, and I'll
There you
take
see
care
it.
of this from
So-
here. And there you guys have it. Ricky's gonna go out and get. You can use my shoes right there. Oh, we're gonna go check for the grab the blue pied, the late bred there. Child out of the Seagull. I am. What is this? Let's see. We got some more questions. Let me get to the questions. ABC Loft, I'm going to get to yours. When Ricky gets back, I'm going to get to ABC's Loft's question. David Tracy, Ralph. Chris, I'll get to yours. The kind. Hello, how are you? Hello, hello, hello. Okay. What did ABC? Oh man, the comments are coming in fast. You've got to laugh at me. You got me laughing. Oh. Tony, we got to keep you laughing, my friend. We've got to keep you laughing. Guys, remember, this show works best when you guys participate. Okay, I'll wait for Ricky to come in. Tried to call you earlier, just wondering when pigeons will be picked up for quarantine. When quarantine is over, we're going to get in touch with everyone to get them picked up. Patience. Again, I tell people time and time again, they will be ready shortly. So, slow down. Let's see. What is Tony writing? That type of what pox is strong that iodine cannot stop it. Yeah, no. We tried the iodine. Literally, when they get that, they just get it and run it. And there you see it. You see it in the pigeons, guys. What can I say? Scott Stein, no. ABC Loft. How you recommend selecting young birds off the race team? Is this what you're asking me? Recommend selecting birds off the young bird team? Well, I think your young birds got to fly a complete season for sure. And a lot of the time, I don't know. Sometimes I think you got to try them out as yearlings, at least, or up to a 2-year-old. If a bird wins a race, I'm not interested in keeping it for breeding. It's got to be a superior young bird, maybe an ace pigeon. In the top percentages of the combine or federation or where you're racing. Birds that are in the top 5 or 10 pigeons overall at the top. Interesting. That's what I think, but hey, that's my opinion. What do I know, right? I think you got to test pigeons. If you race them a couple races and they do well, and then you park them, I wouldn't do that. Hey, DeKine wrote, the quarantine birds cannot be released if they have pox. Hopefully, many survive. I don't know, Tony. Why would you say that the quarantine birds have pox? We were talking about birds here. But okay. Glad to put that one out there, Tony. That was missed the boat on that one. Okay, DeKine. Hey, 2 out of my 5 made it back in the 400-mile race. Good job, DeKine. You don't mention anti-vax. Natural knows best. Anti-vax. Well, hey, you don't have to vaccinate them for pox. If you get it, you get it. And again, I had those birds in that loft all year. Since about, when did I start getting it? Just before training, didn't I?
It was kind of weird. It
came to me at the end, in the middle of July. I started to get it.
Now this youngster here,
Just give them to me.
that old 8 cock. This is the 7th round. I have the 8th round right now.
8th round off the Seagull.
They're this large. I banded them last week. The pair don't have one sign of pox. This one.
Well, the problem is he's white, eh?
You can sure see it, or maybe you can't see it.
You know what we'll do? This is what we're going to do.
No, just check his.
Hold on. This is what we're going to do, guys. I'm going to switch this camera up here for a second.
He's got.
Hold on a second. Let's just do this. Let's do the cameras here. Hold on, guys. All right, here we go. We're going to switch this over so you guys can see. Okay, so there you're going to see. See, the pox takes right over the nose.
his wattle is getting it now. Well, he had half his wattle. I tried to pull it off, and he's got it in his ears too, doesn't he?
Yeah, you see right.
So let's see.
Move those feathers along here a little bit.
Okay, that one there is ready to pop out. You want me to pop her?
Go ahead. I'm going to hold the bird. Oh, she's dry, boy. Oh, yeah, here she comes.
She's ready to come out. Perfect.
All right,
It
now.
all came out in one nice chunk.
Now, put it in the palm of your hand and let's see it. There you go. Now,
I just pulled that out of the ear.
that's just coming out of the ear. That's real dry.
It's nice and dry. It's ready. A whole thing came right out. See the whole root?
Yeah.
Right. If it's not dried up like this and some of it stays in, you're going to end up,
And
it's going to grow again.
you see
Hey,
here.
watch that. Are you looking at doing the wattle now? You got to watch it. I pulled half his wattle off the other day.
Just hold this camera like this.
I mean, this.
You know what? Hold on. Oh, yeah. Look.
Oh.
There it is again. Take a look.
Half his beak's going to go now.
See?
Poor guy.
There it is.
What's going to happen there?
Just without holding the. Don't touch the buttons on the phone.
Just here?
Yeah. Hold that phone there, please.
I got it.
Just hold it right there.
Go easy. Ooh, ooh. Oh. Pulling his wattle right off. Oh. Half his beak. He's got her.
There it is. Now, take a look.
Going to lose his wattle. He's going to lose his beak.
No, his beak's on. Half his beak is on. Half his beak is off.
So hopefully you got it off there. Let me get a napkin.
You see him starting to bleed out here a little bit. But guys, we show you here. This is live, right? So I'm going to pass you this bird.
Kleenex.
There you go. Just take it. Let me get back to the.
Whoa.
It's okay. Hold on, guys. Let me get back to the camera here.
As you can see, it was painful for him, but
Oh, that was painful.
eventually got it off.
We're going to go back to here for just a moment, and you guys can see. There it is. Don't say we don't show you, eh? We show you the real shit on here. Never funny. Let me get back to the comments. Woo. Okay, let's get down to these comments. It'd be a good idea to do. Ian, you got me laughing. Dave Crozier. Yeah, don't mention it. Antivirus natural knows best. Okay. Oh, we already talked about that, Tony. Pox transfers from loft to loft, shoes, loft coats. It's the wind, man. Transfers are just like we said. Flies like the wind. How are the birds' feather condition in the molt? Richards are perfect for the one loft. Richards are 10 plus, super shape. Mine are not bad. They were better last year. But last year and this year are two different years. All it takes is one pox bird to expose to a loft, and it can spread fast. Yeah, well, hey, she spreads like the wind, guys. Let's see some of the other comments. Do you put anything on it? Maybe iodine. We tried iodine.
I tried it.
Iodine does nothing. Guido says, just join. Pigeon pox is typically transmitted. That's over here. Just leave it.
Oh.
Grab us a beer, a different one. Okay, Guido says, this is a long one, guys, so I'm going to read it. Apologies for my reading skills. Pigeon pox is typically transmitted by blood-sucking insects, especially by mosquitoes, mites. Pox virus can also pass on infections, saliva, drinking waters, droppings, okay? Not very common in colder climates. So exactly what we just said, we're going to see now with your 8th round out of the Seagull if they get it.
Well, they're already about 2.5 weeks old, clean as can be.
And clean as can be in the colder months. So once
Yeah.
it cooled down, we didn't get it's slowing down again. Not the best in the southern states, which makes sense. Dave Crozier says, "Whack it." Well, Dave, if we whack everything, then what are we learning here?
What do you mean
Just
whack
pick one beer.
What's he mean by whack it?
Knock it off, yeah. Okay. Birds will run a fever for 4 to 6 weeks. Yeah, we know that. There you see it. And birds will run a fever. You won't see it in them.
Well, they say normally when you see the pox,
Finish your beer. And I'll pour this one.
the pox has gone over. When you see the it looks like a wart or pimp, whatever, they say that's a sign that pox has done its thing through the body. This is probably a weird pox.
It's a wet pox, I think. DeKine says, what do you do for it? You can treat your birds with a pox vaccine. Mike Sheridan said, did the sulfur paste work? On this type of pox, I tried the sulfur paste. It couldn't dry it up. It was growing like roots. You see how big it is? I mean, again, you see it here in my hand. You could put it on a cracker and eat it. Like it's big. Brushed the infected twice with alcohol solution. We tried it with the iodine. It did nothing. Okay, next beer up. I seen this one at the store. This is called Guinness Blonde.
Blondie, isn't it?
Blondie. Let's see this one. I wouldn't have picked this one next, but you did, and that's fine. Sure, opposite looking.
What would that be? That's a Scottish beer, isn't it?
Guinness is Irish.
Irish.
We don't want the
Irish.
we don't want the Irish people coming for us. So here we go. We're going to try the Guinness Blondie. This one's a 5%er, Ricky. Again, pours a nice head on it. It looks identical to the
Maybe
last
a
one.
little too much head. A little.
No, it's fine. Just give it a second to air out, man. Let her breathe. Let's see which one's going to be better. Here, wait. Cheers. Let's smell her.
That's got a different flavor, eh?
It's almost got a grapefruity taste, slightly. Man,
That's got a flavor. I can't.
again,
That's got
guys,
a nice flavor.
you guys are wondering. It's Guinness Blonde. I'm going to say between this one and the Dab, this one's got a nice finish taste.
It's got a
Nice finish
what
taste.
kind of taste. Very nice.
Very nice. Okay. Antonio. Okay, well. So Guido says brush the infected area twice a day with rubbing alcohol. We tried it with the iodine. It did nothing. Maybe alcohol will.
Okay, so ask Guido. Do you rub it just on the pox when it's
Wet?
like, or when we pull that pox off?
Jeez, yeah. It has a cankery smell.
It has a cankery smell. I can bring in a pair of laprets
Yeah.
off of Plugger.
Yeah. They're full of it.
No, the nestmate had it,
Yeah.
and at a certain time, I had about maybe 3 of them right around his nose here, a little waddle. I pulled them off. The nestmate, absolutely not one pox on anywhere in his body. I can get the pair and show you. Now the one I pulled him off, he healed up beautifully, just real nice, right? I don't know.
I don't know. The kind says wash your hands. Ian Sybil comes up with a good one. Tony, if you ate that pox, would you get monkeypox? That would be an interesting experiment. Guys, if anyone wants to give me $1,000 and I'll eat it, but you have to send me over the money. You got no problem with that.
We need the money.
No problem. For $1,000, I'll eat
You
it.
know what'll happen though? If you
What?
find yourself crawling, climbing the trees around here, then we know you got it.
Jesse Catania. Hey, guys, this guy here, last week's race winner, the London guys, the Catania brothers from London. If there's one thing these guys know, what I like about them, when I met them at 9 o'clock in the morning at a pigeon show, they come up, they shook our hands, and they had some beers with us right away. They brought a nice case of beer. They had some vodkas, had some drinks. They put in, I think, 7 birds in the one loft race. Slow and steady, Absolute Pepsi, last race winner at 267 miles out of Englehart. Congratulations to the Catania brothers. Hey, Ian, I'm not sure, but Ryan should not be drinking beer if his blood pressure's... Well, again, one thing that's great about Tony. Tony knows best.
Right.
Tony, my blood pressure is 260 over 160. Ryan's giving us a story. Should I give him the... You know what I should do?
Oh, get the blood pressure machine.
Should I get the machine out? Yeah, I
You
should.
think it's going to be... have you taken any pills there today?
I don't know. Guys, don't worry. It's fine. I'll chip in $100. Tracy's throwing in the first 100. It's going to take one guy to give 1,000.
Oh, shit.
Hey, guys, I'm so confused. Do the race birds have it, or is it in your stock birds? Okay. Originally, my one-loft birds, the 2 one-lofts,
Excuse me, that's where it started.
was in my loft.
In your loft.
In my loft.
That's right.
And our birds are split 50-50. My birds got it, and then just through the air, it went through each of the lofts. But your birds that were in the same trailer, in the same baskets, picking and fighting, they never got it.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
So it's just
and I know you were trying to get it off, and you were
I was
swabbing them with what do you call it?
I made the paste. I tried the iodine.
Iodine. You were swabbing them with iodine.
And exactly what you said. I would pull them off, and literally within 24 hours, the same goddamn size grew right back on like a monster.
I don't know if you got the whole root off it. You see what we pulled there? You see the root. There's a root on it.
As Tony says, because he's laughing here, show us the medical story. You see my blood pressure this week. How high was I?
You were, I think, 220 at one point, and the low level. You got 2 levels, right?
I was at 160
on the low level.
On the low level.
Unbelievable.
Now I know you think this is a BS or whatever, but anyone that wants to come over and take the blood test with me, you guys can do the pressure with me.
I can get the machine now.
Well, we don't need to do that right now. We can get all the pills that we're on. I take 8 pills a day.
Shall I get the pills?
No. You know what?
I'll get the pills.
Tony thinks, you know what Tony thinks? This is a made-up story, eh? Just like the quarantine birds. Where are the quarantine birds? Are they in Portugal, Ricky? Or are they in Sweden? Yeah, no, we're not getting into that now.
Where are they, Ryan?
No, they're over there. They're yeah. Look at
Here they are, folks.
Look at this. We just got, and I got collections of them. All little collections. No joke. On November 1st, I'll be in the hospital for multiple tests that day. And I'll tell you, you get to take, in a day, you get to take, I got to take 4 of these hydroxyzines, 4 of these ones. I got to take 1 of the, man, they got some pretty names. Almopimazines, 10 milligrams. These are the good ones, though. The something, 100 milligrams. I take 2 of those, and to top her off, I get 1 of these little cute ones. But hey, what does that have to do with anything? Nothing.
Did they give you a pill splitter?
No, I take full pills.
Oh.
I'm taking 8 pills a day. Michael Peevler says, some birds might had it when was shipped over. You brought to you. Again, if you treat your birds for pox, when they get into this beast of a one-loft race, in any one-loft race, it doesn't anywhere, they will spread it to other birds.
Yeah, but I heard if the birds are vaccinated for pox, before you ship them out, somebody told me they should stay 2 or 3 weeks before they're shipped out to any one loft. Once that period is gone by, those birds won't spread it anymore. But if they are vaccinated, let's say today,
And shipped out.
and shipped to period, that's when they'll spread it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but again, if you guys were to say, as Guido wrote, birds fighting and picking and drinking water in the basket, when we mix Richard's birds and my birds,
I didn't get it.
You didn't get it. And again, we weren't talking mixing birds for an hour. We had those birds in August, 6-7 hours.
Sitting in the basket, in the crate.
Sitting in the basket.
Shipping crate. Or in the transporter.
Ryan, I hope you're kidding me about the numbers of blood pressure. Tony, you should be careful. Tony, you don't have to worry, my friend. Don't worry. Listen, we got the pills. We're working on it. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day. I got to get her fixed in time. But in that time where I'm getting it fixed, I got to have to keep living here.
You just got to watch that you don't. You can go in a coma. You can have a stroke. You know, you could be in a wheelchair for the rest of your life. You don't know when this is happening.
No,
the thing is your body is adjusting to your situation. Then all of a sudden the body says, I can't adjust no more for you, my friend.
Yeah.
I'm finished. That's it.
My number one problem is in the evenings when I sleep. When I wake up in the morning, my heart runs harder at night than it does in the morning. It's through the day. It
doesn't rest.
Doesn't rest. Do you have a good benefit plan at the Pioneer Village? Our benefits are always good. That's why I said, guys, hey, $1,000 and I'll eat that POC for you. That goes to the pills. I will. It doesn't really bother me. David Tracy's one of the best pigeon men I know because he says, drink 6 more beers and you won't even know if you have high blood pressure problems. But that beer went down good. That was a nice beer. That was a good one. I get that one again, and I'm not a beer drinker. You guys know this. Dominic Zarlinga says, hello. Hey, Dominic, how are you? Stay safe. The safe way is to pox 8 weeks before you send birds anywhere. Yeah, and I think also when you let the birds get a bit of age on them, they can handle it. When you give them the shot of the vaccine, if they get a bit of a fever, they handle it. I don't think you want to be vaccinating birds for pox in the nest or just when you wean them. 8 to 12 weeks old, hit them with the vaccine if you want. I remember there was a needle vaccine, and what was the guy out in Oklahoma? What was his name? Rick Martis. He showed me how to vaccinate under the skin, and it gave him a little bubble, and you could feel if you did it right. There's also the painted on ones. Troy says, sounds like it's best not to vaccinate or do it a month before sending them out. Again, I would let them have some age. I would let them have age before I do it. At least if they have age, you're going to be safer. But that's me. I wish Mike Vanderyak was on. I bet he's got a good pox remedy. I bet you he does. They shouldn't have any open slabs. What's that? They shouldn't have any open scabs, and don't let birds take a bath with others. Wow. The problem is pigeons. They pick each other's eyes. They pick each other in the beak. You know, they scratch their feet. They do things. If they have a bath, or if they just pass the saliva and even pass breathing, I think it just rolls.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I just told you I had a pair of youngsters in the nest.
One
had pox, and I can go and get, and the nestmate didn't get one pox.
And you guys got to think, the parents are pumping them, so they're passing saliva.
Yeah.
Saliva's passing. They're sitting beside each other, rubbing up against each other, sneezing, breathing, whatever they're doing.
Picking each other.
I
don't understand it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
it's one of those things. But again, just to show you, I've seen pox on the eyes before. I've seen pox on the feathers.
I've seen pox on the toes. They got a little, it looks like a wart, a couple warts on their toes. You say, you got pox. Oh, that's bad. But you see this pox.
Now, Tony says, pox birds should not even be allowed to fly for 8 weeks after being poxed in case strays to other lofts. Well, that's nice to say, right? But again, how do you know, right?
I don't, I understand what Tony's saying, but so we got Troy on, I named four or five people, all flew on the same trailer, right? And they have not said, you guys gave me pox. Do you get what I'm saying?
Well,
So, and that's like a confined
But
basket, 130 birds per level.
we're running the one loft here. I can't stop birds for 8 weeks. Again, this started in July. This started in the middle of July, and we're finishing off with this pox here now.
Have you got any in there?
No, my bird's got no more pox.
Gone.
It went through.
Yeah.
But you're seeing on this property pox.
Mhm.
Now, other properties where we have other pigeons, there's no pox.
That's right.
So, what is it?
Do you want me to get that pair of the nest mates where one had pox and the other one didn't?
Now, Tony is, again, he's very obsessed with this. And Tony keeps asking, Ryan, show us the deer corn. Now, Tony, it's called reindeer corn. And Tony's saying it's also called cow's corn. No, Tony.
No,
This
is special.
This is different. Cow's corn is much different. Reindeer corn has the magic in it. Ian says this. That's why clubs don't want you vaccinating. You can really screw up a season on guys, yes, and you can. Now, if you're flying in the US, they can get pox vaccines. Here in Canada, because we are what I'm going to say, and I hate to say this, and remember, guys, this is only my view on it. We're all entitled to our views. Canada is goddamn ass backwards.
Backwards.
Backwards. So, Gordy Whale.
Yeah.
I think Gordy is a pretty good pitching guy. He knows what he wants to do. Gordy was a guy who always said to me, hey, I would pox my birds. And I would do this, and I would do that. And I look at it and go, well, is that right or is that wrong? And I'm using Gordy as an example. If I was sending birds to a one-loft race, the Hoosier, the California Classic, whatever.
Any other one.
Anyone, anywhere in the world, I'd pox my birds. You want to know why? Because for that little bit of time, if I can screw up somebody else's bird and maybe get an advantage, it's going to help me maybe win a little bit more money. Because if I don't do it, there's somebody else that's going to do it. And then I'm going to get burdened with this. Now, that bird we showed in the video, if that was somebody's one-loft bird, which we were lucky it wasn't, his bird would have been taken out of the race.
That's a late bird.
That's a late bird. His bird would have been taken out of the race.
The bird's body was perfect.
I handled him.
Weight, perfect.
But now he can't eat no more. He's finished.
Mother Nature's doing him in.
I wonder, David Tracy, if Europeans have much problems with pox. They treat there for that. Again, over there, they're treating for herpes. They're treating for salmonella. They're treating, because in Europe, they're so far ahead, they've got things, they're ahead of the ball on things.
What you're saying is they're taking no risk.
Right. Now, me being in Canada, for me to get a pox vaccine, I have to call Global, Jeds, maybe Vitaking, call them and get their pox vaccine. I then have to smuggle it into Canada, which you don't want to do because I don't want a ticket or a fine.
We don't do that. That's right.
But you see how this goes. This year we had American birds come in. We had 100 American birds. If one or two guys vaccinated those birds, that's how it can spread. And I'm not blaming any of them. They can get the vaccine and they can use it. Go for it.
Excuse me, like you said, I would use it. Hey,
Dave Crozier's right. And round of applause to Mr. Dave Crozier. Dave Crozier gets it. He says to Tony, the reindeer corn, it's magical. Tony, you want better results? Switch to the magical reindeer corn. Let me know. We'll come down and show you how to use it. Remember, that's how you feed it. Very, very gently. Remember, Tony, we saw that corn in the disposal bin a few years ago. See how they all watched? They thought that was the reindeer corn in the disposal bin. Oh, guys, you know what I always like, when a pigeon guy goes? Look, you go to a pigeon guy's loft, right? Pigeon guy turns around the corner, and the guy's got his loft coat, and you're going like this in his pocket. Oh, what is this he's got in his pocket? Oh, look, he's got a bulb of garlic hanging there. He's got an open onion.
Hey, listen, Pigeon Man or Pigeon Man, I've seen him out here at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday morning looking in my kitchen window. Can you believe it?
Tony writes,
You're going, is he in there? Is he in? Where is he?
Hey.
Oh, there's his wife. Oh.
Tony Alva says, cow's corn, moose, and reindeer corn makes the pigeons coo. Ha.
Yeah, but you gotta remember one thing. Did you ever see a cow fly?
Yeah.
Or a moose? Or a thing like that?
No.
But you seen the reindeers fly, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Right?
Okay, hold on. We're going to have to get another beer
When
here
I
in a
was
second.
a little boy, I actually seen the reindeers fly.
Yeah, well, so you did. Ian Sybil says, Europe is ahead, but when birds come here and we get it, those vaccines, bad things happen. Well, the problem again boils down to the Canadian government. In Europe, they're testing for all this shit. They're doing all this shit. They make these vaccines, and the Canadian government doesn't let it in. And Ian, I'm not against you. I am with you on it.
So then what happens is guys got to bring it in their underwear coming from Germany, and then they use it here, and half of us can't get it, or none of us can get it. And one guy, this is it.
You know, I was talking with Eddie Grugin's man. I said off the camera, talking to him about some great vaccines and great products, right? But then you look at it, by the time you want to pay for it, like you said, put it in your coat and bring it over. You bring it over, you get dinged. Then you get a fine, and they take it away from you, and you paid in euros. So at the end of the day, the way I look at it is, I'm not interested in getting a fine for any of this shit. Just doesn't interest me. So Guido says this. Let's get back to the pox because, hey, pox is on our mind.
You know what I think we should do
Grab
next show?
grab us a beer.
Let's get Justin Trudeau on our show.
Fuck that.
Come on.
Listen,
Everybody would like to talk to him about this pox problem.
he wouldn't even, yeah. We can put this on a cracker for him. Anyways, okay, here we go. Guido says pox vaccine is actually a weakened live pox virus. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think I have a pox vaccine in that fridge.
Do you?
Yeah, it's about 12 years old, and it's a paint on stuff.
Where?
I don't know. Maybe it's not in there. It might have been. No, that's not it. Anyways, don't worry about it, Ricky. Okay. So you are giving the birds a mild version of the pox, and that's what Frank Pellicore said. He would give it to some of his birds. Give it to them. He didn't want to use it all on all his birds. Then he put his birds out in the aviary, let them beat on each other, pick.
Yeah, but that's too hard on the birds.
I wouldn't do that.
The contact. That's brutal.
That's brutal. Tony, the art of bullshit. Ryan is the #1 artist. Again, you know what I like to say about Tony is, you come at me. I'm the #1 bullshit artist. Bullshit is someone that talks and doesn't do. I do what I say, Tony. So bullshit, and me, Tony. Don't put your foot in your mouth. It's okay, Tony. Settle down. Reindeer corn, always under the deer stand. That's right. You want to go, Jesse Catania, you want to go deer hunting, you got to have reindeer corn. Dominic Zarlinga. All right, Ricky, let's grab us another one, bud.
Which one, my friend? This one?
Yeah, put a brown one on the ice. Put a black one on the ice.
Black Guinness.
Black one. We'll try that one after that. Okay, so Dominic Zarlinga. In Europe, grab me that vaccine you got there, Dad, that vaccine you showed. In Europe, you can get vaccines for PNV, salmonella, rotavirus, and adeno. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And again, let me switch over to this. Oh, Dave Crozier. You got Dave Crozier all fired up, Ricky, because he just said, fuck Trudeau.
You're
There
damn
you go,
right.
look.
You're damn right.
Put this one in your underpants, eh? Guys, how many of these can you get up your butt?
Which one's that? That's the.
This is the which one's this one? I can't even see. You know what? I'm getting old. It's 50 dose though. This is the, I think this is the Rhoda. No, this is PNV. I can barely see it, but there you see. There we go. Let's switch back over to here. Some more comments come in. You guys are doing good tonight with your comments. Oh, anyone can buy reindeer corn for $5 a pound. Again,
You know how we started off with this reindeer corn? One day, a guy pulled up here with a red suit on and a beard,
yeah.
and he had about 6 deers on his sleigh. It was in the winter, and I had my birds open hole, and these things were crapping right on the lawn, and my birds were in there eating the corn in the droppings.
Now I can remember.
What's this? How do you say
Now
this?
this is a wheat beer. Okay, it's like this is a real good beer. This is from Belgium.
4.9.
4.9. Okay, it's a very blondish beer. I can remember.
Do you drink that with a straw?
I'm going to throw a bit of bullshit. I was with the Norman family in Belgium.
Yeah.
I'm going to bullshit this one, eh?
Mm.
And we were drinking these. Man, we were drinking. And I'm not a beer drinker. I can drink hard liquor. But boy, they got me on the beer. That was the end of me. But this is one of the ones we had with the Normans. Look at the color of this.
The color of that. Ooh.
Oh, this one's
Holy,
freezing.
look at this.
Oh.
Oh.
We got a nice one. Man, I didn't think that was gonna freeze
look
that
at
quick.
that.
Give her a second. She'll aerodize here.
You want to know why it's a little percentage weaker?
Low percentage, it freeze quicker. Yeah.
Well,
So here we
look at the
go.
head on that one. Holy jump!
We're gonna have to let this one. What do we say? We're gonna have to let this one sit for a minute.
We're gonna have an ice cream headache after this.
Oh yeah, sure. Anyways, Tony with the reindeer corn. It must bug him, doesn't it? Must bug him. Fuck Trudeau, says Dave Crozier, and we're gonna put that up for Mr. Crozier. Look at him. Look at his. You can just see, where has Dave been? You know what? Dave was the type of a pigeon guy I'd like to fly pigeons with because he's no nonsense. But I don't know what happened to him. He got stuck over there in Oshawa. Dave, what are you doing? The old timers would cut and let the birds pick with pox and let it bleed into the water. Let the other birds drink it. Maybe. I don't know. I never heard anybody say that to me, but hey, you never know.
Okay, so the idea is so the pox would
spread
go through the group.
Spread it. That's
and
right.
get it in and get it done with.
Right. But again, when you give it to them that way, you're giving it to them real hard. But that's how all our birds got it. Our birds got it the hard way.
Yeah.
Have you ever fed the corn with apple flour on it? It says they sell it for deer at Walmart. No. I only use the reindeer corn, and it's a very special corn. It's not cow's corn. This is different.
We don't use a knockoff.
We don't use the knockoff.
That's what you call it. It's not a knockoff. This stuff is.
What do I use for respiratory infections? Well, I've got a respiratory vaccine that I use, and I like it. Now let's see. It's not frozen anymore. As soon as it touched that glass.
I'll tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
That dab beer,
Mm-hmm.
I could drink that all night. But this,
Mm-hmm.
you could have 1 beer
Okay.
and 2 beers. But by the time you get to the 6th beer, this beer, the taste, it's got some kind of a taste.
It's light.
It's like having the honey. They have some beer called honey beer. You could have 1 beer, very nice.
It's a wheat
But
beer.
by the time you get to the 3rd beer, it's like too much honey.
It's a wheat beer. It's a wheat beer. It's a wheat beer, and it's got orange peel in it. Okay. Not a bad beer. Again, I think exactly like you said, 1 or 2. I think
Yeah, you can taste the orange peel in
you
it.
can taste it. Tony Elvis again. That beer is made from reindeer corn. Barley would be too expensive. Reindeer corn is good for making moonshine too. Right now, people are asking me, what are the birds eating, the one-off birds? I'm going to, I should have got, maybe tomorrow, tomorrow I'll do it and they won't fire, but let our birds out here today. We were going to go training.
It started raining so hard.
I let my birds out at 10 o'clock this morning. Tony had called me. The birds did just over an hour. How did my birds fly?
Perfect. They were literally, they were up there. I'm telling you, you can tell when they're in nice shape, and they're just, what should I say, from the elbow in the wing to the tip of the wing. All you seen was just a little flick. They weren't doing
no strokes. No strokes.
It was like,
it was a race stroke.
It was like, yeah,
a race stroke,
and just cutting through the air, just like jet planes. And they were up high, and they exaggerate. They almost looked like they could fly upside down if they wanted to.
Yeah,
they
would roll into the wind, and you'd see them. And again, I remember going to guys' lofts. Alfred was one guy I went to. Colm Van Zoren, he was one. Eddie Grugens was one. Paul McAloney was another one. They let the birds out for a loft fly. Okay, these were yearlings now and old birds. Mm-hmm. When the birds went out, it was fucking scary. They were doing just like these ones, just the way they talk. They weren't
under the wing.
They weren't flying. And we were at about 45 minutes, and the group was ripping way up high, and we looked up. And there, way out in the corner, was one cockbird, not even with the group, just gliding. Then I guess he got back in, and they keep playing. But what am I feeding right now? Barley. They've been on about 60% barley, wheat, reindeer corn, and I'm just sprinkling a little bit of peanuts. I've been feeding them about 3 to 4 times a day. For the rest of this week, I'll up them maybe to 5 or 6 times of feeding a day, but small amounts. And Richard, your birds went out. They did the same thing. Now,
mine flew for about an hour.
I switched my birds separately from his birds loft flying, and I found my birds were hitting my board. My birds are really hitting my board good now.
We're letting them out in 3 different groups. His group,
3 groups a day,
group, and the Twisted Sister group.
Yeah,
3 different groups.
Now tomorrow, if the weather is good, we're going to go back to training. We'll go back to 20 miles again. All the birds made it there yesterday. I don't know. They all came. Sorry, I couldn't post those results up. I will.
I had some late ones on my group.
Yeah, you had 4 late ones for you today. I don't know.
Yeah.
Cherry Bomb was one of them. Not for, okay, so Ian Sybil says this. Not for big corporations. The rich get richer. The funny, what the flu can do. The flu. What does Tracy say? When I was a kid, I used to have chicken pox parties so we could all get them done with. Chicken pox parties. There you go. With the kids. Yeah. Those poor kids that came to that party. Troy said, I had a hen here about 345, the size of a marbles. I had hail here. Oh, hail.
Oh, hail, yeah.
Yeah, we had hail today.
We had it here as well, yeah. Actually, I could take you out here. I got the covers on the patio furniture. There's snow in there.
Now,
a little bit of snow. I couldn't believe it.
Guido hits this one right on the head. Great point, Guido. Tony, there has been quite a bit of pigeon herpes around the last few years. Acts like respiratory, wet eyes, gurgling, wheezing, etc., but nothing to fix it because it's viral. It kind of goes away with the cooler weather. Yes, I'm seeing more herpes. I've seen it this year in multiple lofts, the herpes.
And herpes, another thing, herpes slimes the mouth.
Lines it.
Like lines it, slimes it with a yellowish cheese. It looks like canker.
Yeah.
But it's not. And exactly what Guido said. if you get that herpes, and then herpes will spread.
Oh, sure. How does it spread? It spreads in the water.
Once the bird's clean of it, he survived it. He still will spread it later on down the road. Next year, he'll spread it. And barn plugs, or what do you call feral pigeons, they are worst for this.
Yeah.
They have it. They have it. Now, some guys, old guys, maybe myself, like to get a few barn plugs in and get the group.
Well, if you get it, you get it.
But once they survive it, they build immunity. The loft gets stronger to this.
And I one thing, I had birds. I swear it was herpes. I opened the mouth. I took tweezers, something with a little bit of an edge, and I tried scraping, cleaning, everything. When they get it, you know where they end up. You know where they end up going, eh? Hold on, Tony. Tony's using now all of my names, but he missed Thomas in there. He says, Ryan Richards Onigan, you are very right about herpes virus with that yellow slime in the mouth. Yeah. It slimes it, coats it. You can scrape it out.
You think it's canker, but at first you think, I got some kind of canker in there, but boy, no.
Now, the other question is we're looking at these pox things here. Mm-hmm. We're looking at the herpes. We're looking at canker. And I almost feel it's almost the beast of it all amalgamates together. I think they're all in that same goddamn tree because it all smells the same. It's not like regular canker. I know a regular canker lot.
I believe that herpes goes right.
Yeah, lines
inside the body, lines everything inside.
Now the next,
and I think Guido said gurgling. I think he said it. Gurgling, wheezing. Yeah, because the whole thing gets coated with this slime.
Clogs them up. Clogs them. Now, I seen in that book we got from Australia, it's a nice pigeon book.
From the doctor there.
They cut a bird open that had herpes. Mm. And when they cut him open, she was lined. Oh. Now, maybe next time we get one, I don't really feel like doing that. But it would be interesting to see.
When did we get a herpes? I can't remember when
we've had it a few times. And you see it, I've never seen it in the quarantine birds. Knock on wood. I've never seen it in that. I've seen it with the one-loft birds. And some people think herpes is canker. It's not. But I think they're related. I think there's a relation here to it.
What you think is the herpes is a stronger virus than?
I think canker is the baby of them.
That's right.
And I think it's the pox and the herpes. I think they're all together. I'm glad tonight's topics are educational for many fanciers. This can really show. Well, Tony, we try and keep everything. Every show is not the same. Okay. And again, it's what people want to talk about. If people want to talk, we're talking about this tonight. We've seen that on that bird, and this is what the show was on. And again, if you get it in your young bird season, do you keep participating? Do you bow out? What do you do?
Well, the thing is, if I'm on a truck where or one guy's bringing his birds in, and they're full of pox, or they're gurgling, or they're full of lice. No. I just look at the guy and say, "Listen, buddy, don't put your birds on this truck. Now turn around, take your basket home."
I have a question.
What?
So let's just hypothetically say I'm a new pigeon flyer.
Right.
And, I've had pigeons 3 years. I've had them 5 years. I maybe even had them 7 years. You're enjoying it. You're reading things. You're learning. But you don't really still know, do you? I mean, even at 20 years, you're still goddamn learning. Take a look at that video. We're still learning. You never know.
You say every 100 years.
Every 100 pigeons, you gain a year.
Gain a year. That's
and that was Ron Steinbrenner. That was his thought.
Okay.
I'm not saying
I
that's
think
true.
he had a great point.
Great point. Okay, hold on. So I show up with a basket of pigeons to the club. I'm a new guy. I'm feeling good. Put the birds down, and I hand the birds to you, or hand them to Tony, or hand them to Guido.
Maybe the new guy doesn't
And he
know
doesn't
really
know.
know what he has.
Now, the next question is you come off and you say to him, hey, Ryan, your birds got respiratory. Your birds are covered in lice. Hold on. Your birds got wet eyes. Your birds got big pox. There could be 15 things you say to this guy.
Mhm.
What's the right way to do it? Do you have the right to tell the guy you can't put them on?
Yes.
But do you have that right?
I've been shipping birds, and a guy put his T-shirt. He's got a white T-shirt, and you're covered in lice. Say, buddy, all I'm telling you is better be a better pigeon man. This is one of the lessons you got to learn. You got to be told what you should be told. You can't come in here with pox. You can't, you should be told. Otherwise, he's never going to learn. Right? Why aren't my pigeons flying so good?
Okay.
They're full of lice. They're full of this. They're full of that. That's why they're not flying so good. We actually don't want them on the truck.
Right. But I'm saying for new guys, how does an old guy tell a new guy? Now, we can get some people's comments. Let's think about that for a minute. Because remember, you come to my house and you say, hey, I make the best pizza. You eat it. Normally you'll be polite. Oh, that was very good. You'll get in the car and say, that pizza was shit. People are how people word things. Now, here, we got some more questions.
I think maybe you got to be gentle maybe with the if everybody's T-shirt's covered in lice because of this guy, you got 4 guys handling his birds, and everybody goes, oh, my God, I'm covered in feather lice. What do? You got to say to the fella.
Or pox or things, and I get it. It's just how do you present yourself to the gentleman without getting into a fight and because you know how people are. People are proud and somebody doesn't know, Hey, let me read this. Man, I can't pronounce your name. Guglilimo. I'm going to call you Limo. I'm just asking, when's the final race going to be? Final race is going to be this Saturday. It's going to be Saturday or Sunday. We're planning for a Saturday race out of Matheson, 320 miles or so. I'll have the exact measurements for you for that one. Neil Gonzalez, welcome back. Neil, I haven't seen you in a while. Neil, howdy. The sick bird should have been put in the garbage bag and no more birds added to the mix. Now, Neil, are you talking about the one loft? Or are you talking about guys' birds? When you're in a one loft, get through the sickness, which you got through the first part of the sickness, which fucking killed me and didn't really touch you. Touched you very little bit. Then I come down with pox. I've gotten through pox before, but pox takes time to get it through. Again, when you run one of these races, the worst part is you have to play a little bit of God. And I don't like playing God because people put their money in, their time in. If it was so cut and dry, you just look at a bird. That bird's gurgling. First day it comes in. Why treat it? Bang, knock it off. That one looks like it's got herpes. Bang, knock it off. That one's got pox. Knock it off. Bang, bang, bang. But you got to remember, when they're in that loft, and you see it come down, the devil is already in the building. So you could pretty much, if you were a real hard-noser, put every one in the ground. But then what would you have? Anyways, moving on. Ampar lost. Never smack that bitch. You'll end up in the ditch. Tony's talking in his pretend riddles, which he thinks is funny. Hey, that's what makes you tick. Go for it. Dave Crozier. He's back. I think he made it back to our village. Those wild plugs never get any vaccines, and they will still be on the planet when it's gone.
He's right.
Listen. He's right. He's right.
It's almost like saying Mr. Basket will be the ruler. Yeah, or the plugs is exactly. Environment will be the ruler.
Listen, I don't give a shit.
Did you ever see a barn with 20 plugs on it? They never worry about hawks. The odd plug gets picked off. They just keep living, right?
It's what we call adapt or die.
That's right.
Right. And Dave is right. Take a look. The wild pigeons lived in the rocks. Then they moved into the barns. Then they moved into the cities. And guess what? They're living.
Hey, listen, I watched a documentary.
Mm-hmm. Finish your beer. We're having another one.
On the world, of evolution of the world.
All right.
And the world is this whole where we are, this hunk of dirt that we're on,
Earth,
is divided up into 4 quarters. Okay.
Right.
We are now in the 4th quarter.
Right.
Of this. Okay.
Okay.
The pigeon.
Uh-huh.
Was here 3/4
before us.
Of lifetimes before us. And I don't know what a quarter is. A quarter is 2,000 years or
who knows?
1,500 years. It's
I'm
quite
sure,
a few
I'm,
years.
I'm
We're
sure
not
pigeon,
talking
sure
about
pigeon,
5 years ago.
I'm sure the pigeons were with the dinosaurs. I'm going to go with that one. Okay, hold on. Tracy, and Tracy's a new pigeon person. So this is a good question. Is there a test for pox, or do you just recognize the symptoms? You will not recognize it until it comes out. But when it come out, like Tony said, like Guido said, like we said, your birds had it for 4 or 5 weeks or 3 weeks before. They have the fever, they're not feeling good. And when the pox comes out, that's the shedding of the virus. When you see it, it's at the what do they say? The tail end. It's at the finished end.
But I can't believe that, what you see there, because like they say, oh, he's got the wart on his feet, or he's got a wart on the side of his mouth or on his eyelid. They get it on the eyelids. You say, oh, that's pox. That's the end of the pox. It's going to be over. Well, I don't. This pox here is a different pox, whatever this is. I can't.
All right, Guillermo. Well, I say yes, but tell him what he should do. The only way he's going to learn.
Yeah, we're talking about a guy that comes to the club.
And I'm saying though, for guys that have had pigeons 20 years, I see sometimes I'm probably even bad for it. You come on to a guy a little bit too strong that doesn't know. Just try and take,
I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't got to make the guy feel like he's 2 inches tall in the room. Say, hey, John, hey, these birds here, this one here's got a little bit of respiratory, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I wouldn't send something like this. Same thing. I see guys sending birds. The hens are laying eggs in the basket. Come on, guys. Come on.
Well, that's it. Don't you know your birds?
Can't you feel in the vent bolts? Can't you see the hens are humping up? I don't personally think it's good to do, but hey, hold on. Just say Will. Okay, I'm gonna call you Will. All right, Will. Can you call me Will? Sorry for the long name. No, your name's fine. So Will, we're gonna call you Will. It's a great name. If you call me, I would learn how to pronounce it. David Tracy says, give them a couple shots of vodka. Should clear them up right away. Okay, Neil's back. So Neil answered my question. This has been a good show tonight. Ricky, finish that beer and grab us the other one. If there's a cutoff date for intake, then no more birds should be taken into the loft after that date. The loft will then develop loft immunity. It won't happen if you continue to bring in new birds. Well, yeah. And I agree with you. We brought all our birds in. I went through a hell of a little bit of a sickness again. I went in.
I think one loft birds.
It takes time.
It takes time. You get a sickness. It's like the little kids going to school when they're 5, 6 years old. That's going to be a dark beer.
This is going to be a dark beer. I truly think
everybody kind of gets that cold and gets the measles or the mumps or not. Most of the kids get it.
I truly think here I'm watching one loft races in Canada, and I'm looking at years of flying it from the Canadian International to the Empire to the Niagara to my race to the Trifecta to all of them. The problem with these races here in Canada is The birds come in March, April, and May, and the one lot guy's taking them right to the first week of June because he's trying to maximize. The birds then go down the road. The races are over by the end of September. The pigeons have not been here long enough to get all together on the same page. When you look at races, like the races in California, you look at the races in Florida, those races that have been pushed back, where the guys have the birds for between 9 months, 8 months and 10 months, you see better because they have time. They have time. You look at the Chavez Classic, the Chavez Classic. You look at the Black Gold race. You look at the races there in the Miami. You got the birds for time. Here in Canada, there's no time because of the weather. And I almost think moving forward, I'd sooner take birds in, in May, June, July.
And fly them
the next year in May and June, and let the birds have the time. Take them in.
Let them mature.
Let the pox go through. Let them develop. Let all this stuff happen. Okay, we're on to our next beer. So far out of the three, which one was your favorite? You got the original Dab.
Okay.
Which is 7%. Then we went with Guinness Blonde, which had a great fruity taste. And then the Hager Garden, Hogan Garden, Gigan Garden,
whatever it is,
out of Belgium. What was your favorite of those three?
Honest, my first
Right?
was the Dab.
Going
It
for
had a nice crisp taste. Then I liked the Guinness, the other one. This Guinness, the Blondie one.
Oh, there's no head on mine. There we go.
Now, my dad was telling me one time
We got some comments.
that in Belgium, in the old age homes, this is like a stout beer.
This is a stout beer. We're going totally different.
They
now.
give the old age people, everybody is told to drink one bottle of stout
of stout.
every day, a bottle.
Right.
So good for you.
In Belgium, I don't think they have that problem.
No, this is the
Yeah,
best thing
I know.
for you. You don't have to eat very much.
It's cheap.
You have one of these.
In Belgium, you're cheaper to drink beer than you are water.
That is
Okay.
a very nice head.
So Tony Elvis has a long one to read here. I'd put another one in the freezer there. Okay. Letting birds free lofting and letting them pick on the ground, they will look great. Pigeons are animals that naturally like to pick, like a chicken, I agree, on the ground, if allowed, just like chickens. So we agree on that one. I think free-ranging pigeons, you need them. They got to be free-ranged a bit. You can give pigeons all types of different grits and minerals, blah, blah, blah. Still want to pick on the ground. Take a look at chickens that free-range all day in the rain and the shine. Take a look. You cannot do better than natural. And,
I believe it.
the ground, Mother Nature will not F with your pigeons. She won't do it. If she...
Is this the one with the orange in it?
You want the other one. Go with the Guinness Blonde there. Let's do that one next. Throw it right on the ice. I think, I've given birds beach sand right from the ocean. Man, did they love it. I give them topsoil. They love it. You give them beetroots. They love it. If I drove over to Tony Elvis's house, I'm just saying, or I drove to Guido Madrusa's, where his area is, there could be different minerals in the ground. If I pick up some of his sod and give it, the pigeons will go and they love it. And guys,
Let me tell you something. I've planted onions.
yeah,
And leave my birds out. And soon the onions start sprouting up like this, right? They eat the greens right off the onions. The other thing too is planted here begonias.
Yeah.
What are they?
Oh,
Begonias?
yeah.
Holy mackerel! We put begonias out the back here around this patio. Lots of begonias. all of a sudden, boy, they eat all the begonia leaves, the flowers, the leaves. Had begonias out the front. They went over the roof on the front. They eat all the friggin' begonias off. Unbelievable. We couldn't keep a begonia in the yard.
You really like saying begonias. But guys, you know, I talked to Derek Walsh, champion of Ireland in sprint racing, the best of the best. He said to me, Ryan, you can go to Versalaga, you can go to all the box stores and you can buy the Dextrotronics, you can buy the Boost X5s, you can buy the Beetroot, you can buy. But if you're crazy enough, you get a juicer out or you got a good knife out and you give these birds the natural stuff, the garlic and all that stuff, give it to them. Onions and beetroot and sweet potatoes, and you can juice it, give it to them. It helps. Again, it's from Mother Nature. It's not out of a box. Box, you get 10%. Mother Nature gives you 100%. Sorry I missed it. How is the weather looking? Today we had some hail. Birds Law flew great. This week coming, we're going to try and get at least an 80 mile into them, maybe once. We're going to try that. If not, we're going to have a few rocks. Saturday and Sunday look great. We're going to ship Friday. I've already talked to Troy. Troy's going to come down in the afternoon to put his birds on. We want to get Ricky out of here. I don't know. I'd say by 3 or 4. Again, driving up there in the dark, it's dangerous. So I'd rather him get up there.
Too many moosies.
Too many moosies. Yeah, that's right. So, good evening, Brian.
The hunters are up there, and they're driving the moose. The moose are running all over the place.
A lot of moose.
Across this road, across that road.
So, again, Will says, the birds that you show in the videos, he can't eat. I'm right. So he's a goner. Yeah, the birds don't eat. And I've heard that pox, I've seen it in books, that the beaks fall off. And this was the first year. And I think maybe in our lifetime,
I've never seen this in my lifetime.
Maybe
in real life, I've never seen
taking care of 20,000 pigeons or 10,000 pigeons in my life. I've never seen the beaks come off. This year I'm seeing not only the beaks come off, but guys, there's the waddle of a young pigeon in my hand. So, yeah. Robert Hamilton from Australia. Hey, Robert, how is it in Australia? I'd love to get to Australia. I think the pigeon flying there is good from what I see. Vitality is the spice of life. And guys, I watched a documentary on horses. And the horse was having an issue with something with the blood. Do you want to know? No, with the movement in his legs. Mm-hmm. Do you want to know how they fixed it? They gave the horse 3 times a day beer. Got the movement in. Okay. What did your father say in Belgium? Mm-hmm. Right. Keep you going, guys. A beer like this isn't a beer. This is a goddamn meal. Oh. And I remember being in Ireland. Remember the old woman?
She wasn't that old to me.
She liked you.
She liked me, and we sat there and had a Guinness beer. And
we had 3 or 4 of them, and she said, by the time you're done these beers with me, your cheeks are going to glow. Okay. David Tracy, I cut the garlic cloves and put them in the water. You know what? Cut them, smash them, the bulbs, the roots, the paper, put it all in. Okay, what does Dave Crozier say? The birds know what they need best, better than we do. Yeah. And that's why when you see your pigeons going down on the ground, all they're telling you is they're looking, they need something. Don't scold them. I see people, I never have my birds on the grass. You know what? You got to let them be in pigeons. But that's me. I hope to handle
I hope to handle over 100 birds this weekend between the Hoosier and the Guinness auction. Well, I'm not really, that doesn't interest me, but hey, good luck. To me, it is what it is. Beer saves the world. Beer saves the world.
Well, that beer there has been around since 1734 or something.
Yeah, I was
59.
I was going to go to the Guinness factory, but I ran out of time on my trip. And again, guys, I was talking today to a Pigeon flyer about one-off races, and again, a lot of the races are really set up. It's getting softer and softer. And guys, that's why you see here today, we've got 100 pigeons left. We've got 300 miles to go. These birds are going to be right at roughly around 3,000 miles.
I think it's going to be about 320 miles, isn't it?
And you know, I was talking to people. Some people say, oh, Ryan, you train them too hard. You don't have to train them so hard. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. We wanted this race to be different than all the other races. Is it too hard? What do you guys think? Is the race too hard? Should we back it off a bit? Should we go, instead of 8 races, down to 6 races? Me, I enjoy flying pigeons this way because the cream will rise to the top at the end. And all you're interested in are those top few pigeons. Beer saved the world. Dave Crozier was right. Tony says, today there's also strains of canker that are resistant to all medications. I believe the lack of not sending birds to the distance races allows a lot of the birds to survive and breed weaker birds. And I talked to Tony today, and I said it 100%, and he agreed with me. You take a 3-race series, a 4-race series. They do between 200 and 500 miles of road training. Birds really, they're just starting to know what they're doing, but they don't. Then they take them 100 miles, and they'll pick a tailwind. 100, and then the next race, this. Then they try and put them in a headwind, and the birds flunder. By the time the race is over, the birds put 1,000 miles in, or the birds have put 1,300 miles in. The birds have not been tested. You don't know what you have.
What have you heard? That some of these trailers, these combine trailers, oh, they don't go to the 500 mile anymore. Long Lac. They don't go there anymore. Well,
Why? Why?
Because so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so said, you know how much money I got tied up in these birds?
That's right.
And that's out of my $2,500 pair. And I can't lose that. I can't lose that. Guess what? It's all garbage until it flies right till the end. With respect.
With respect.
So if you're a dummy and don't know how to train, haven't got time to do this, then dummy, better hold your bird at home. But don't stop the trailer. And some guys want to do the push.
And again, I'm a hard guy, and I'm going to use a race. I like the California Classic. I like how John trains.
Mm-hmm.
He gives the birds a good hard working, and the birds get there, and you see it at the end. I look at another race. They're paying out $1 million. Neil's going down to it. I'm not going to say the name because I get my bum smacked.
Oh, okay.
Okay, right? You're paying out $1 million in these prizes. The race, the guy don't push those birds. But I understand why the guy don't push the birds. Because in reality, how many guys really want it hard? When you're all in a room, our dicks are all big, aren't they? But only one of us has the biggest dick in the room. Isn't that the truth? That's the truth. We all want it hard. That's what we all flap our lips. Because could you imagine if you said to me, "Oh, I like hard races," and Gary says he likes hard races, hard races, and I'm sitting in my head going, I like tailwinds. I like it easy. I'm not going to say that. So I lie to myself. Hard racing, it's going out with the wind. It's
going in the heat.
It's garbage.
Headwind.
It's not going to survive, and that's why I think what we do here, it's great, But I don't know.
All I can say is, hey, 95% or maybe more are only pigeon keepers. That's it.
Okay, so David Tracy says, have you ever put put the shine on feather? I haven't used beer, no. I would if I was maybe playing professionally. Like, I would use beer. I'd use beer on a return of the races, I would. Interesting article, Neil writes. Interesting article the other day. Medication props up the weak birds. Natural approach helps all the birds. If we do nothing, the best will continue to shine. Should be using a very simplistic approach to find the best birds. Yes, but the problem with this is you've got everybody playing chemists at home, dumping stuff into water, giving them this, giving them that, giving them Boost X5 on the feed, giving them hemp, giving them this, giving them that. Those are natural things, but giving them respiratory, giving them yellow drops, giving them pox vaccines. Because do you want to send your birds to the Hoosier and show up there and get your bird in your hand and the beak falls off? Well, I wanted naturally strong pigeons. Well, your competition, he fixed your little red wagon, didn't he? And you're out now, $1,000. So if it was me, I'm agreeing with Neil. But again, that is the old mentality. And I just don't. Again, you know, you look at the NHL, look at Bobby Orr. Would Bobby Orr be Bobby Orr today here? The players are 55 times more in better condition. Do you think any NHL players or NBA, they're smoking cigarettes like Guy Lafleur? It's a different era. We keep evolving.
Well, they said years ago, some of those professional hockey players years ago, what are we talking, 50 years ago or more? They'd be drinking whiskey in the change room, in the room as they're getting ready to go out to play.
Will wants to know, he keeps hearing about Plugger. The legend of Plugger.
Yeah. What about it?
He wants to see this Plugger. Well, why don't we say, Will, next week we're going to have...
You want me to bring in that pair of his late breds that
Oh.
I'll bring him in.
Why?
The one got pox, and I pulled the shit off, and he's okay.
They're the nicest.
The nest mate,
They're nicer.
I'm going to bring the pair in. I'm just going to show you something. And
Well,
Plugger,
why don't we do it next week? We'll bring in his children that finished this race series. Why don't we do that? We're gonna.
I don't care. I can go out there and get
We'll
him
do it
now.
next week.
But I'm just saying, Plugger's got, I don't know, 5 or 6 young ones that have flew every single race. And they won one of the guys' money 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plugger's birds on the smash race, they were there. Now, again, when you fly a smash race, you see different pigeons. Are they the best pigeons? No. They're different pigeons. And we seen it on that smash because we went back there to Englehart on a good day, on a race day. Birds came good, different pigeons. David Tracy writes, I race my birds every week from 100 miles through 500 miles, plus training between the races. And nothing wrong with that, David. That I'm the same way. Tony's using all my names. Ryan Richard Zonigan. Do you send birds to other one-loft races anymore? Tony, I don't have any birds here really anymore. I haven't had the time to. And you know what? The fundage, you know, and, you know, overall, I'm not overly impressed. I know the races that I'm impressed with. When I have time and I get birds again and I'm going to start playing with pigeons, not other people's pigeons, then I'm going to do it. But, I mean, we do auctions. I do loft tours. We do this one loft race. And you almost say by the end of the day, do you want any more pigeons? You know, I'm just saying. Why do you call him Plugger? Yes, please. He wants to see Plugger. Wants to see Plugger.
Because he's a plug. He's a barn plug.
It's a barn plug. That's right.
Wild pigeon.
He's
Barn
a wild pigeon that
feral pigeon, barn pigeon.
Yeah, we got in.
Came in here a couple of years ago on the Englehart, which is 67 miles. I think it's a bit further, but
No, it's not.
anyways, come in here with had 12 birds on a drop, and he come in. I don't know what hit the board, and he went bang right in. I handled him.
He was a nice pigeon.
Nice.
He wasn't a pigeon with bad vents. He was built properly.
Oh, if I did a video, I got him in a separate section with this Carboni hen. That guy, he'll take your skin right off your hands. He's such a fighter.
And we had some fun with him. We left him in there. We said, you know, if you get PNV, you're going to go. And we've had wild pigeons come in for a couple of days. Next thing you get head twisting, they're gone or whatever. But Plugger, he managed to make it.
He's on a pair of youngsters right now. I think that's the 8th round.
8th round with the Carboni hen.
Carboni hen.
The pigeons have been very consistent out of him. Last year, we took 2 babies out of him. One of the 2 babies did 9 races and never missed.
Yeah.
Which had 4 races between 275 and 300. 4 of those.
Over 300.
And the bird finished.
Beautiful hen.
And this year we put him to the Eros Carboni hen, which she had everything that he didn't have. He's a long pigeon, long cast pigeon, buoyant, long wings. She is built.
Got wings on him like
she's
and coverage across the back.
Yeah.
His whole back. He's got coverage right to.
Did you want to get him?
Almost looks like halfway down his tail.
Yeah, he got super long wings. He's a nice pigeon. And we put him to that hen because she had everything he did. She was broader, bigger, real nice. And the babies, I'm going to say, they've beaten already a lot of people.
Oh, God, yeah.
I mean, again, for having fun, if I said to you, I'm going to go to Victoria Falls and fly,
well, I didn't want.
You know what? Send 4 out of Plugger.
I didn't want anyone to know about Plugger. Now it's coming out. No, his young ones have blown the doors off of.
No, okay.
A lot of pigeons that came in here, just blown the doors off.
So Tony,
his first son there.
Tony,
what a pigeon!
Tony writes this. Ryan Zonigan. You can be missing the greatest part of our sport if you're not sending to other one-off races, and if you're not club or open racing, a long distance racing, then you're missing out on our sport. Hey, Tony, I'm not missing out on anything. I know what you're saying, Tony. I have to have birds to send to one-off races.
I don't send pigeons to one-off races where the guy's got to go on the grass when they fly 320 miles with a stick to try and get them to come in the loft. To me, when I see that's shit.
Hold on.
Right?
I haven't gone out and got pigeons and concentrated on flying one-off races. We're not doing that right now.
Who's honest in one-off racing?
No, but I'm saying
these guys.
I don't have the time.
Some of them one-off races even have VIP sections. Okay, I've heard about that.
But besides that, and not every race is for everyone, and I get that. Tony, flying pigeons around here, I'm not flying them around here. The combines around here, they should be disgusted within themselves to call themselves sport. They're not sportsman people. I'm an asshole, and I'll tell you. But guess what? Everyone's welcome here. I don't care if I like you, I don't like you. You have pigeons, I want you to fly, you're more than welcome. I've put long distance races around here. Everyone puts their nose up. And Tony, you flew our race last year. You won money. You didn't come back this year. People don't want to come and participate in our band races. People don't want to come and have some fun.
Creative racing.
And the only excuse I get is the same fucking excuse. You ready for it? You're not going to have enough birds as the combine. You're not going to have enough birds as the combine. Do you like the combine? No, the guy doesn't let them out right. Oh, they canceled the races. I hear all the same bullshit. You want me to tell you?
The guy drives
Hold on.
back. The
Hold on.
guy had to
I
drive
don't-
backwards. He had to go
Just
to
get the
a
bird. I don't want to go on about your shit. Listen, we give you another option. You didn't take us up on it. I said come and even fly for free if you want. Come and take us up on it. You don't do it. The problem is not me, Tony. I like to fly pigeons. But flying here in this area, no. A very good pigeon flyer told me, stock the birds from your OLR. A very good pigeon flyer told me to stock the birds from your OLR. Who was the good pigeon flyer who told you that? Jesse. And the pigeons that finish our race, and especially the top ones, I think will be special pigeons. I've seen people that have, in the last 3 years, that have gotten birds to finish our race up in the top. Birds turned around to do good things, which is good. But I'm missing the sport. No, Tony, I fly pigeons here every day. I'm not missing anything. But hey, everyone has their opinion, each of their own. Ricky is going to get plugger. And again, guys, round of applause for Jesse Catania, the Catania brothers, the London guys. They won the Englehart. I was lucky to get a hold of Ricky there with about the first 8 or 9. Pete. Oh, you're talking about Pete Sloan. Yeah, he's a good pigeon man, Pete Sloan. I've never had the opportunity to meet him. I know his partner is Dorval. I've met Dorval a time or two. He's a character, Dorval. But I've never got a chance to meet Pete Sloan. I've heard nothing but good things, and I'm glad that Pete gave that compliment. Turn down the temperature. You had a great thing with 1508. Turn down the wow. Bring that back. Yeah, maybe I'll bring that back next year. And again, it all depends, guys. I might do a 4-race series again. I like the 4-race series. We thought we brought out the bands this year. We thought people would get on board and follow the bouncing ball and try it and come out of the comfort zones. People, again, they want to activate the birds in the last minute. And more complications. And we're going to see. And maybe we'll go back to that next year. Again, I find a lot of people, I don't know. They got the other band race now going. And maybe just let it go and let other people do the thing. Let them run for a while. And when it phases back out, people stop working for free. Because, again, I don't do this for free. There's no point. Nothing in life should be done for free, even though it is a great hobby. But it takes a lot to run up and down the roads. And again, I told people all year, at a certain point here, guys, come on and fly, come and participate. You'll enjoy it. Ricky, he went out and got you Plugger. So for those of you who want to see the legend of Plugger, you know what I'm going to do, Dad? What? You're going to sit here, and you're going to hold Plugger, and I'm going to film him right up close. So give me the hand.
I brought his daughter from last year.
Oh, his daughter from last year. Beautiful pigeon. Is she still going or no? Are you still sending her? Or you stopped her?
No, she started molting, so.
Okay, so, Tony says, so Ricky, sit down and I'll show the pigeon. Ryan, you guys have lots to say about other one-off races, but you get crazy about complimenting about your Pioneer. You get crazy about people complimenting about your Pioneer one-off race. All the others races don't have the one-off managers, and their whole family competing in the races. My whole family's competing in the races.
Wait a minute. What is this man saying?
Wait, it's incredible you don't find this something that others would question. We're not competing in our own race, Tony. I have no interest in the race. We had people that lost their birds to sickness, and we donated them birds that, again, we took no prize money from. And Richard, you haven't won the crap you lent people. The crap
Right.
hasn't won a race yet. Close.
Been close,
No.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. You won one race.
I say, from what you read there, what Tony's saying, indirectly, come right out and say it.
Yeah.
Don't say something indirect. You're saying that we're cheating in this race. And yes, I am standing up for it. Say it directly, man.
Hold
Don't beat around the
Hold
bush.
on a second. But we look at other races, and he's gonna fucking hate when I say this. A fucking loft burnt down. They built a new loft. The owner of the wood's flying in the race. The owner of the wood of the loft is flying in the fucking race, and he's won the race multiple times. Big money. Now hold on. Do you question that, Tony? Neil, you're driving down there. Do you question it?
Just shrug your shoulders.
No,
and say,
because you know why?
just burn
You
it
want to know
down.
why? Because they look up, eh? You know what they see? Fucking God. That's what they see. They see the pigeon God, eh? And they don't want to. They don't want to step on their toes.
What did Mr. Big Letters say to you a couple years ago?
Mike Dennis said, "If I come to Indiana
In big letters.
in big letters, I got it in text. If you show up in Indiana, you won't leave here alive."
We have it in text.
We have it in text. And Tony, you think I'm full of shit on it? Guess what? I ain't full of shit. But I will say one thing. Sitting at a table in Indiana, having frozen lasagna, drinking Jack Daniels. And what did we hear? Thanks to my good buddy, Mr. Big Letters, for giving me the money for the wood for this loft.
He sat at the table.
Sat at the table eating. What were we eating?
4-month-old frozen lasagna.
We drove how far for that?
Mm-hmm.
But hey, Tony.
Okay, so let's get this bird.
Frank Eichhorn says, and again, I don't fly other races. Tony, there's no race here in Canada I want to fly. I'm not wasting my money. If I'm going to send birds to a one-off race, it won't be in Canada. I'm not doing it. I'm not interested. You can give me free ones to everyone. I won't do it. And you know what? You could say my race is crap. My race is this, and I'm cheating flying in my own race. I'm not
You
flying.
didn't say you were cheating.
No, he beat around the bush.
Read through the bushes here what he said.
He said, again.
Let's analyze this.
Let's break this down. Ryan Richard Zonigan, you guys have a lot to say about other one-off races. But you guys get crazy about people commenting about your Pioneer one-off race. I don't get crazy. What am I getting crazy about? We're talking facts on the race.
Wait a minute. You're getting a little crazy now. Read
Wait.
the rest of it.
All other one-off races don't have the one-off managers that have their whole family competing in the race. Okay,
right
so-
there. What indirectly, what is this man saying? Read it, man.
Okay, hold on. So our whole family. Is Mom in the race? Do I have one fucking bird in the race?
Who gives a shit?
No. It's incredible you don't find something like... Tony, you had a fucking rope up at your loft. What were you hiding? What were you hiding behind the rope? You can hide a lot of shit behind a rope. Frank says, they all talk big last year. Where are they this year? And Frank Eichhorn is right. They all talked big last year, ain't Frank? They all showed up. No. Where are they this year? You know what? You tuck tail and run. You guys think I want to put this shit together to get 5 people to come out? You know what I'd rather do? I'd rather sit and watch TV.
Okay, so show these two little guys here.
We are on buffering, not bad. Okay, do you auction for your race? If you do, I'm in. If you do, I'm in. $100 to eat the pox. No, I can't. It's $1,000 to eat the pox, Jesse. I'll do it. Neil says, saying it direct. No replacements means no replacements. 60 birds die. IFN should not be. You know what? Next year, guys, send your birds, send your fucking team of birds. Guess what? When they're gone, they're gone. No replacements. You try and be a nice guy, you know what you get?
I'm a cheater.
I'm a fucking
because
cheater.
I'm flying my own birds.
So that's okay. It's okay.
Right.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Everyone has their opinion, and that's fine. That's fine. And the same thing, if someone says they want to bring a replacement, no. If someone says their friend's going to bring a bird for them, no. No, no, no. You try and do something good to help people stay in the game so they don't waste their money, and it is what it is. Ryan, I have never said you're cheating. No, Tony, you don't say it. You just say it in a romantic way.
Let's have a vote. Let the other people listen to that statement.
And then he says,
let's have a little
then
vote.
he asked me to blow a gasket. I'm not blowing a gasket. I'm helping you guys out. I'm not blowing a gasket. Fuck. Oh, look at Will says, fuck Tony and the Guinness birds. Suck that the truth. There you go. Hey, many people have different thoughts on things. And again, what can I say? Let's look at a daughter. That's a daughter, a plug, right?
That's his daughter from last year.
That's his daughter from last year. 9 races.
Mated with a different hand.
1,500 birds, or just over 1,500 birds last year were in that band race series. And I think about 70 finished, and that's one of them. Out of Plugger.
That's one of them.
Just eat the pox, for fuck's sake, says Dave Crozier.
Okay.
Here he is.
Analyze this bird. He's on his 7th round.
7th round.
Check his wing, where his flights are, both sides. Check
Right at the end.
right at the end. With the stress of feeding youngsters.
There he is.
Take a look at his flat head. To me, he's a barn interbred barn plug.
Well, he's something.
He's inbred. They don't get a flat head like that. Take a look at his eye.
Yeah, he's
His orange plug eye.
And the wings on this guy come right to the end, almost right to the end of the tail. He's a nice pigeon.
Look at the snap in his wing. You feel the vibration in his wing.
The feather quality is super soft.
Take a look at his wide bars.
Yeah.
Turn the bars on the side.
I know the wide bars. He's a
Wide,
checker,
man,
but,
wide.
but they're nice and full. Hold on. Tony's got more to say. Because if Tony thinks he's gonna blow me a gasket.
Tony knows. Yeah, I got him rocking now.
Hold on, grab me a beer.
Right, here, you want me to take Plugger back?
Hold on. It's about time. Log got to put on the fire. Yeah, I got to put wood on the fire. What does Tony say? Ryan, you could be your own worst enemy. Why? Why damage or badmouth other races?
It's the truth, man. It's the truth. Have you ever been and watched their other races? It's truth. Garbage.
I don't understand. I talked to Tony privately on the phone, and he's telling me one thing about races. This is just an open forum show. I just talk pigeons. Well, why do I have to like every race? Do you want me to give you my opinion, or do you? I don't know. What do you want me to say? Every race is great. Yeah, go to every race, Tony. I don't care. Talk about races. Answer the question. Blah blah blah. Don't dance around the questions. Now I'm dancing around the questions. You guys no replacements next year. Get your birds in on the weekend that you're available, and then don't. That's it. No more replacements. You don't want replacements, fine. I don't care. It doesn't affect me. It affects you guys. I think I'm speaking for most of the people in your race. Thank you for donating replacements. You to the others who donated birds. This is the way to help promote the sport. We're promoting the sport. We're trying to help out. This wasn't $1 million a million. Come on, man. But again, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. The big players say it's a big deal. So, David Tracy, I'm glad you got a replacement. Again, one replacement there. I think we've had. I think in replacement birds that have won money, I think it's been like
about 3 or 4.
3 or 4 guys.
Won $100.
Won $100. There you go. I thought one guy won 1,000, and that was it.
Guess what? I did some pulling, some strings, you know.
Jesse Contagious says, "Thank you guys for the replacement birds. No others did that. That was good. And good night." Jesse says, "Good night." Again, we had the 60 birds. We were going to fly our birds on our own against these birds and not. We were just flying for fun with them. And you know what? We took something bad and turned it, we thought, into something good. And you want to know what's so funny? I remember lots of guys. Oh, I can get a replacement bird and I don't have one. I'll call Tony. Maybe he's got one. I'll call Neil. Maybe he's got one. Oh, I'll call Gary. He's got one. Somebody has a replacement bird for me. And they get a replacement bird. All we did was supply 60 birds that were already outlaw flying for a replacement. That was it. How you recommend selecting birds off the young bird team for breeding? They got to fly all the races, and they got to be your top birds. And
I don't believe in using young birds.
Yeah.
Until they've flown for me 4 years, and that's at the end. I will breed out of them.
Or if you're going to put them into stock, I mean, the pigeon's got to win like 4 combines in a row, or 4 combines, or be in the top 5 pigeons. And then again, I still don't think you're ready. I think at least 2 years. And they got to fly good as a young bird, good as a yearling, be a top pigeon. Then you got something to work with. If he flies good as a young bird, he's dud as a yearling, then you got to try him as a 2-year-old. I just don't think it's good to stop them as young birds. It's just not my idea. Brian Mansker, it's a great thing to have replacement birds, especially for people outside the country. We would never have an opportunity to get birds in. And this is the thing. You remember, hold on. We want hard races. Remember that statement? We want hard races. We want hard races. I lost all my birds. I don't like hard races. Hold on. No replacements. No replacements. No replacements. You ask the guys in Thunder Bay. They got no birds left. They got one that you donated to them because they lost all theirs.
Win $1,000.
Won $1,000. If we ask Cam and the other one, you know what they'll say? Thank God I got that replacement bird. $1,000.
But what Elvis is saying, indirectly, because they're my blood of birds
that we're cheating,
that I'm pulling some strings to make guy in North Thunder Bay look like a friggin' winner with my name behind it.
Right.
That's indirectly what he's saying. Let's have a vote on the people that read this shit, and let's have a vote. My impression is you're beating behind the bush. Tell me I'm a cheater.
Well, but
right to my face.
He won't say that.
No.
Now, my question is, if Tony was the guy who got the replacement bird, and Tony won 1,000 last week, 500 the week after, and he was leading for the points, do you know what he would probably say? I don't want the prize money. It's cheating.
What did I find out about one of my replacement birds? I didn't even goddamn well know it. It's in the points.
It was high up in the points.
It's in the high points right now.
It was.
I didn't even know that.
It's not leading, but it's up there.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay, whatever. Like Tracy says, I'm grateful, but it's not worth the bullshit. And again, you hear the people. There's people that are happy for the replacements, but you hear the people who say they want it hard now don't want the replacements. Now you don't want the replacements.
But this shit died.
No, maybe not the shit died. But if they got a replacement and they win, would they be complaining? Do you get what I'm saying? You know? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Guys, lots to think. And this is why when you run one of these races, you should maybe just be more hard-nosed and no. In our area, we got kicked out of our combine, and our beloved combine members never stuck up for us, so we're not in there anymore. Will says, and how do you get it? My name is Wilfred. Where does it come from? How does it attach to the birds? I don't know. I don't even get this question. No, we used to fly in the largest combine in Canada, but that went away with the about 3 years ago. So we're done now. Now we do our own thing here, and that's it. Well, Tony, I know it's a very exciting show, and you called me earlier today, and you flirt with me, and you have fun, and guys, again, Tony's all about the ratings, and he thinks he brings big things to the show, and he does. He's bringing big things. Guys, if you want to talk pigeons with him, give him a call. He'll give you all of his info. Just talk to him. It's incredible. It's amazing. And again, we've invited him on the show numerous times, but I think he's a bit shy to come on. What else do we got going on here? Waiting for Ricky to come back in. But yeah, looking back at it, I'm almost getting to the point where I'm sick and tired of being nice and helping people out and doing stuff because it just automatically, I get fucking thrown in my face 500 times.
This is his last pair of late breds. He's on a pair of youngsters right now. Yeah, they're plug. They're plugger.
Yeah, they're a lot like him. Oh, boy, are they feisty, eh?
Feisty.
Boy, these are the nicest ones he's ever bred. They're longer cast pigeons. They got more of the race face on them. That's the last round of babies, and these ones had pox.
I got another round right now.
Oh,
They're about 5 days old.
what a nice
Feel the snap.
feel, nice snap, forearm nice and medium tight. Again, feathers just like them, soft and silky.
Well, this is the nest mate that had the pox. Watch, this is a real feisty one too.
Yeah, I see the pox where it had it on the face.
Yeah, I pulled them off when they thought they were right.
I like that one better.
Okay, this is the hen.
And this one's a bit short, a bit wishy-washy, but still, boy, these ones here had more of the muscle of the mother.
Do you notice the smoky blue?
Now the plugger in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This isn't as smoky. This is different.
Nice pigeon.
Hey, look at that one.
Send that to Victoria Falls. Is pox a mosquito virus?
Yeah, it is.
I think it spreads through. Tony wins the gaslighting award 2 weeks in a row. You guys think Tony gets to be gaslighted? No, I'm not. Listen, I know how Tony likes to play. Tony's the guy that stirs the pot in the background. No complaints. If the replacement option lists up front, you were hard on rule intake. So if it doesn't happen after 60 birds, I've never seen this happen before. Oh shit! Yeah, I made an adjustment on the rules, Neil. I made an adjustment. Adjust on the fly. Race schedule was adjusted on the fly. I don't think in this race it was a live or die thing. It was just a small adjustment. What was the difference? What was the difference if guys brought birds to replace them? We said we were going to have a replacement show. We just waited till after the intake, and then we put them in. The birds were all up there. The birds were there before the one-lot birds were even in. But again, I got to stick to rules. Hardcore, stick to rules. Again, stick to rules. This race should be over. You know, you got to adjust a bit of the rules. My fault, eh? Again, I guess in life, I'm going to have to be more of what I call a fucking prickhead, right? And that's it.
If you see things aren't going so good, Ryan, what you do is burn it down.
Burn the loft down.
Yeah, burn it down.
And we're not saying that, guys. We're saying if it doesn't go good, just, again, rules are rules are rules. So next year, you're going to have your birds to bring them in. Bring them in on the date. There's no replacements. When you lose your bird, don't complain and whine. Don't ask for replacements. We won't do it. Nobody can replace. Then everyone will go with the flow. What is Tony saying now? Ryan, just seeing that you like to say whatever
you like. Just remember, others can do the same. Tony, you can say whatever you want.
Just saying that statement. there,
Tony,
let's have a vote.
Tony, I don't get upset with whatever you think.
Have a blonde.
Change plans, change rules, change this, change that. Change. I'm cool and I'm calm. I change. I don't know. We're equal. And this is why it's a pain in the ass running one of these things. Because you know what? It is what it is. You try and help out people. And what does it come down to?
What I like to do is speak the truth.
The truth was, if you bent the rules a little bit, you could say, no, just leave it, please. I don't want any more. You're going to make a mess. Michael Walsh, do you call the birds as hard as Serge recommends? Sure, call the birds. Yeah, I mean, hey, if we were calling the birds in the one loft, how many birds with pox do I put in the ground? 60? 60. I would have put 60 birds in the ground.
Well, then you had the sickness. You'd have put more in the ground.
Put more in the ground. But you know what? You try and help out. You
Birds have
try
done
and
very well.
help. You
Birds
try
have
and
done
help the people. And again, we know what it comes down to.
It comes down to, if my bird's living and you call the other guy's bird, I got an advantage. That's what it is.
That's right.
So the advantage is you didn't call, but like we said before, Mother Nature has done the culling, and it's also Mr. Basket has done the culling. So that's the truth.
I see other birds in other one loft races. They're up there for sale. They're flying. The birds weren't paid for, but they're in the one loft race. Birds in a one loft race have been sent to races that are for sale. There's 100 birds in a race that are for sale. Nobody's paid for them yet. Those are unpaid for birds. But if those birds come in with pox, herpes, whatever, they're passing through. Is that fair? Well, I don't guess it is. I don't know. So many ways to look at things. Again, guys, this will be my last season donating pigeons to people to help them. I couldn't give a shit.
Wait a minute. Why is that? Because dude writes indirectly?
No, because you want to know why? It's just a technical pile of dog shit.
But you know Tony Elvis.
That's okay.
Yeah, what happens if Tony starts winning all of a sudden?
It doesn't matter.
know
No, he won't.
No. But
Because we're not going to do it again. And again, you got to learn from your mistakes. What do we say about nice guys? They finish last. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? You can do work for a guy a whole summer. Help him out. You ask for a pigeon with no band. You know what he'll say to you? Hey, he'll say to you, fuck you, nicely. Okay, Neil says, the difference is, hold on. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm going to first go with David Tracy. I like David. He's a good guy. We were having fun. Can't let a couple people bring it down. And again, this isn't $1 million race where we're giving Ferraris and Lamborghinis on the line, life or goddamn death. Okay? This is a small backyard race. Hold on. And that's sort of how we went with it a little bit. Okay? Small backyard race. What does Neil say? Ryan, the difference is 60 less birds after the sickness took place had 2 birds after the sickness. The 60 birds I have banned come in racing from different lofts. I have a problem with that. I have a different loft. I have a problem with that. I don't know. What can I say? Probably.
What's
Neil put 2 birds in. Neil and Mike put 2 birds in.
in here? Yeah,
They did very well. They had no sickness.
those are good birds.
60 more birds came in.
And they got sick.
No, and they're playing the game.
Right.
And Neil doesn't feel that that's good.
What's 60 more
So
birds?
if I would have,
what other birds?
and I remember Tony Elvis said to me,
Ryan, if guys got sick birds, let me know. I can replace them. Yeah. I had all other people offer. Other people offer. Other people offer. Other people offer. And what did we say? We can bring in other people's birds, fine. But we're going to add, what are we adding to the loft? More poison. We didn't add no birds to those bottom lofts. We just left your upstairs lofts. So the guys hear the birds.
Left them there.
Left them alone. That was it.
I didn't want to bring them down.
Again, next year, guys, it's going to be fucking serious. Like, I'm talking goddamn serious. So serious that the fun level is going to lose a little bit because we got to get a little more serious. Because it sounds like we want harder races and more serious. So, guys, I'm going to tell you, next year, if your birds can't cut it for whatever reason, just don't let me hear you whining that your birds died in the loft and you couldn't replace them. Or there was no other option. That's it.
Ask the people that got replacements.
And here's Ken.
Are
Look
they
at,
happy?
you ran a better OLR last year. I think we ran the OLR the same as this year. What difference did we do, Ken? Flew 8 races. 8 races. Trained them hard. Trained them hard. We had best training, so how could I have run it better last year? Although, Ken, last year, you won prize money, right? Everything is different when you're winning, I believe. Just my opinion. I would say this year's race ran way better, and we're not even done yet. Maybe on Matheson, we won't get one home. Boy, oh boy. As many not know, I worked 35 years for the government. So I've worked 35 years for the government. So Tony, you work for the government. I don't know what that has to do with this. Ricky was a garbage man, and I was a paint mixer. Okay, so government has something to do with this. My job was doing special services. Again, I'm not sure what that has to do with it. Involved many different jobs. I had some great timing and course of that, very much human behavior.
So
Learning.
he's like a psychologist.
Sounds like he's a psychologist. So Tony.
So let's ask the crowd what you guys done for a living in your life. Let's hear. Like,
so Tony's learned a lot about wording and everything. Tony, you were a building control guy.
a superintendent.
A superintendent on a project housing.
Welfare
Welfare
project.
thing.
Yeah.
Almost like space, the final frontier. The next, the next Canadians to go to Mars is the first ones to go.
Yeah.
Tony will be on that ship. That I'm learning new people around here only give you shit. Want you to lose your nerve? Gonna give you something good. I don't.
Let's do a blood pressure test.
You lost my birds with soaped wings let out. I lost your birds with soaped wings. Ken, I don't think this race is for you, Ken. I lost your birds with soaped wings. Hey, can I ask you a question? Did you fucking go up and fly over the trees?
No.
Did you?
No.
Did you go on the other side of the roof?
No.
No. I'm not sure how I lost your birds, Ken. I'm not sure how I lost your birds. Again, when the birds get let out, that's not in my control. It's up to them. If they don't have the shit between the ears, or if they have all the shit between their ears, but they have bad luck on that day, then they're...
Ken's blaming the soap wings. That's what he's saying.
Soap wings.
Some soap wings to try and break the birds.
My friend, my friend.
How many birds were here?
My friend, I'm getting to the point where I'm just going to say, screw them. Let them out and let God and Mr. Basket play the game. But you know what's going to happen if you lose them off the roof the other way? Guess what they say?
I'll never go back there.
I'll never
again.
go back there.
I'm going to go to the Hoosier. Took in 7,000 birds, and he still has 6,800 left.
Whatever.
That's where you go.
Or whatever race. Ken, I can't help you. I lost your birds with soaped wings. Left out under the loft. I left them out under the loft with soap wings. I got no birds stay under the loft, Ken. They had a ramp, they can walk up. Africa, soap the wings, they got the ramp walking up. Were you in Africa? So I lost them to go under the loft. That's my problem. I guess it is my problem. Hey, it is. Hey, Ken, this ain't the race for you. No hard feelings, bud. Lots of other cow tracks around. Go enjoy. What was the cutoff date for replacements? I think, what did we say? The first week of June the 1st or whatever. Read the note. Read the note. Read the note. Ken, I don't know what the note means, Ken. Read the note. Ken's got a note, but I don't know where it is. You lost my birds too, but I had no entered. I don't know. Ryan, sorry you could not read my last post. It is possible your concentration is being distorted by the bombardment of the questions. You're right, Tony. I couldn't read all of your long-winded shit from the government. Anyways, I don't know. Tony, you did good on that one. You all wonder why the sport is dying. It's no fun anymore. Look, this is what Tracy writes. Tracy's a new person, okay? You guys watch. Tracy will be out of this sport after a year or two more. She's watching the show. Watch. You all wonder why this sport is dying. It's no fun anymore. You damage it if you do. You're damned if you don't. So why the fuck even bother? That's what I said. When you're hard on them, they tell you you're hard. When you soft them, you soap them, you ass kiss them, you soft kitty them, you medicate them. What did I say? What did Serge Van Alsacker say? Get out, get the fucking garbage can, done. Done. But you know what? This isn't about that, is it? But some take it that way.
But then you got a guy telling us all about his work for the government for 35 years. Do we give a shit?
Oh,
man?
look at John Willis. He's calling them out. Bunch of old women complaining. Run the race as you see fit. Thanks, you're doing a good job.
In Belgium, they call them fish women.
Listen, my race is no good. I just take the birds out and work them how I feel fit. There's 50 more races on Win Companion. Go and fly them. I don't give a shit. I really don't. You know what I'm getting tired of? The sport's getting boring now. I'm dealing with exactly what we see. Ken Lavoie bitching about soaped wings. You ran a better race last year. Unfortunately, Ken, I'm going to say it straight. The birds trained better this year. This was a way better. The birds did better. It was a better overall year. But Ken, you won last year. And you want to know what was so great? Ken won last year with a replacement
from Guido Madrusin.
From Guido Madrusin.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice? Round of a fucking applause, eh? So actually, Ken, you're doing better this year because you got your own birds in it left. But you know what? The customer, I'm fine with that. Just have another beer. You're doing great.
Wait a minute. I want to hear from that guy again who's worked for the government for 35 years. I want to hear more what he has to say about work for the government for 35 years.
Do you want me to say what Tony's answer to that was?
They work for the government? They work about 22 hours a week. Get paid for 40 hours a week. That's what they work at the government.
No. Hey, you know what Tony says? Just have another beer.
Guess what? The truth hurts, Tony.
Tony
hurts you.
Tony, remember, without Miguel, where are you now? Isn't that the truth? Franco. What does Franco Pasiglia have to say?
He works for the government too.
Hold on. Well, that's right. I love how I sent one bird, and it's still there. Keeps the sport alive. If you are a mob flyer,
or a single bird, as long as it involves, have fun, love the city work. Okay, there you go. David Tracy, it's your race. You're the boss. Certain people don't agree. And again, I agree with certain people don't agree. How are the birds feather conditioned? Ricky's are perfect. Mine are getting better now, but again, they're still high up on the wing. My birds didn't darken right. That was my fault, guys. I take the blame for that. If you remember the movie, Tony, again, with his bullshit fucking scenarios, and Tony likes to feel good about this, is he's sitting there drinking in his own home, okay?
Yeah.
You know, he does that typing.
I just want to tell Tony something.
Wait, hold on.
We have proof here, Tony,
What?
that you work for the government for 35 years, and we can tell that that job has affected your mental situation. And we have proof here, and a lot of other people are listening to this and reading it. Therefore, we may be able to get you further help.
The wizard, what does he write? If you remember the movie The Wizard of Oz, the wizard had all the munchkins fooled. So did Mike. Didn't he? Had them all fooled. Anyways, Tony, how's that relationship turning you, treating you? We can all, what does Neil say? We can all play by the rules, but don't go making major changes if necessary. Example, intake dates, replacements, suggestions on course, etc. Yeah, I had people wanting to bring a whole bunch of replacements for people and then mixing it in there. We made it there. You guys want it? We did it out of a raffle. Again, my mistake. Am I going to do it again?
Just wait. The people that got replacement birds, the way we did it, right?
Mm-hmm.
They should have had enough sense, they didn't like it, to call up and say, I don't want to be, don't play with that shit. I don't want to be in this race with the replacement bird that you offered me. I don't want to be in the race.
Hold on.
And how many people actually called you and said that? No one. But right now, we get a bunch of people that seem to be, I don't know.
Well, they're playing.
Well, guy in the government, he worked 35 years on a fucking boring government job, sucking the shit out of the government, and now he's had mental problems.
Well, we don't know if he's got mental problems.
Well, he's explaining his job for 35 years, how it affected him.
And how he analyzed people.
He just analyzed people in a welfare friggin' apartment building.
How could you analyze people in a welfare building? What are you analyzing?
What was he, a psychologist?
I don't know. Anyways, Tony knows best, guys. Remember, you guys want to get in touch with him. He'll talk to you for hours. No problem. It's too late to get a replacement. It's too late to get a replacement. We did the replacements right at the beginning there of June. Right there, we had the cutoff. We said no more birds are coming in. These are the replacement birds for people, and we did a draw on it. So we didn't take outside birds in, and those birds weren't mixed in the loft. Again, and again. You know what? I'm getting to the point where this is it. You know what? Bring your birds next year. Put them in. That's it. No replacements. Don't want to hear crying and whining and complaining, but I'll still hear that, and it'll go around and around. You try and do something nice, it backfires. And that's how it works. It's pigeon flying, guys. Again, like Ken says, this is the worst race. He might win. He's got a bird in your loft. Maybe he'll win $1,000 on the weekend, and guess what? I bet you it'll be not that bad of a race anymore. Anyways. Always lots of fun on these shows.
Last year was pretty hard with those 4 last races we had.
Last year should have done a nine pigeons. Nine pigeons left.
I think it was down quite a bit. It was tough. It was a tough one. Those last 4.
To me.
Where you went to Quebec there, and the first race, half the birds flew down over the St. Lawrence, went down the other side of the lake.
Whatever. You know what? The pigeons that had the shit right in their brains that day, they did the right shit. That was it. Fun show tonight. You guys had your blood pressure worked up. Jordan Poulsen, hey guys. I'm about 30 minutes behind, so I'm not live, but I wanted to say, hey, good job, Jordan Polson. Good job. Maybe Tony, Michael Peebler, maybe Tony was like the bookman from the TV show Good Times. Neil can have my bird if he wants it. Ooh, Tracy, there you go. Neil can have my bird if you want it. David Tracy says, good night. Here's just a small part of what I have observed. Listen back to how many times you have used the words and the phrases. I'm telling you the truth. I'm being honest. I am not lying. When someone keeps telling you and trying to convince you honest, they send a big red flag. Well, I'm cheating, Tony. There you go.
Oh, is that the guy that worked for the government? The psychologist for 35 years?
Tony rating shit I don't even get now. But yeah, Tony, we cheated again this year. Actually, guys, none of the birds went to any of the races. They've all been flying right out of our garage. Nobody knows. As for Tony, it's too late to get replacements for next race. Yeah, we're not doing replacements. You guys credit for facing the fire. I give you guys credit for facing the fire. I don't always agree, but hey, I face the fire. Hey, I don't burn the lofts down, but I do face the fire. I never vaccinated for blacks before, but after watching this ASAP, yes, say, take a look. You can get it from Antonio. You can get it from probably Global Pigeon, Jed's, or Tony's best friends at VitaKing. They probably sell the vaccines. All those places do. Don't call me for the vaccine because I don't have it. And when I do get it, I won't give it to nobody because you know what I'll say? Wait. Hey, watch. I don't give a shit. No. Anyways, I think this has been a fun one tonight. 2 hours and 31 minutes. We got rode here at the end a bit. Again, was this race any good? You guys can be the decision. I give this race out of 10 this year a 2. It was shit. Next year, we're going to try and get to a 3. Last year, I thought was a 1. This year, we're at a 2. Another 10 years from now, I might hit a 10. Anyways, guys, enjoy your evening. Hopefully, you learned a little bit more. And if you did learn something, great. And if you didn't, great. And if you had fun and you like to razzle dazzle, great. And again, we make our decisions for next year, even if there will be a race. We'll have to wait and see. But yes, Tony, as you say, we're now going to go have an enjoyable drink, another drink, and enjoy our evening. Are they aluminum for life after exposure to pox? Yeah, they don't get it. Once you get pox once, it's it. Immune.
Yeah.
And again, sorry, my reading. I got to comprehend what I read because, again, I'm not a government worker that has all the education, you got to be.
Probably courses.
You face the fire. Hopefully you didn't get too burnt. Hey, Tony.
Comes back again, eh? The government workers, stubborn as hell.
Tony, I know one thing. You had that big race, but you couldn't stand the fire after they flew over the Canadian Tire with the solar flares. So you know what you did, Tony? You packed your birds in a basket and you went home. And now all we got left at your place, Tony, which is beautiful, old rickety lofts that have no more birds. What was wrong with the fire, Tony? You couldn't stay in the fire? Too hot for you in the fire? You know what? I'm still in the fire, Tony.
12th year.
And
12th year.
Tony, you're going to have to come with a hell of a lot more, Tony, to put my fire out, buddy. As I say, you're retired now for 2 years. You need to maybe get a part-time job or find some hobbies. Because what will happen is, I've seen it with a lot of these old people, they retire. They stop doing things. They end up in the ground. We don't want that for Tony, guys.
So, guys, if you guys want to help out Tony, maybe give him some hobbies, get him into painting, working with clay, shit like that. Maybe he wants to become a mechanic or get a garden going.
Or a psychologist.
The psychologist.
You can read between the lines how he can write stuff between the lines.
He's a poet and he doesn't even know it. Anyways, Tony.
Tony, it's been a great show with you tonight again.
Guys, we got to thank Tony for this. And Tony, don't worry. One day, Michael might take you back. That's Ricky. You know me. I know you. Oh, he's not. He just can't quit.
Can't quit.
Ryan, you should be proud. You hold the world record for being expelled from every club and open race and combine in the CU. You're right, Tony.
Tony,
I should be.
That goes to show you, my friend. You don't know what the hell you're talking about, boy. You've been listening to a bunch of sheep.
But hey, Tony, I will say one thing. Thanks for coming to the defense, bud. You seen what they did, and you accepted it. So you're no fucking better.
That's right.
Tony, your little jobs are fun. They only make my skin tougher, and it doesn't really bother me. But you know what's so beautiful? You'll call me in 2 days from now and flirt with me. And say, we're having fun. We're having fun. Tony, I'm going to say, you're one of a kind, man. You're one of a kind. I tell you, if you were one of those kids on the playground, it's stirring shit in the background. I wonder how many times you got your face punched in. Not that I would have done that, because I would have been the guy helping you out being the short little fat Portuguese kid, right? But anyways. Hey, guys, I'm so confused. The race birds have stock birds. I'm so confused. Do the race birds have it? The race birds had it earlier. The stock birds don't have it because they're older, but the late breds from the stock have it. Are you a member of the AU? Tony, why don't you call the AU? What would that matter if I'm a member of the AU? No, I'm not a fucking member of the AU, but you can call them and ask. To change the subject, my dad bought one bird from May Pigeons, Emil Denny's. Dad pay import visa. Do you send to Jordan? I'll message you on that so we get that straight with the May Pigeons and the Emil. The Emils are getting ready to go. I will get in touch with you, Jordan. I only got one thing left to say. Bah, bah, bah. Well, Tony, yes. Government workers are a bunch of sheep. Not there to affect the government workers, but hey, that's my take on them. This shit is why Leah is not here. Oh, who knows? Does it sound like it's any interesting shit to you when we do this? Robert Daughtry, that's why Leah's not here. Well, again, you get Tony going around and around in circles, and then it's fine. Tony's the best. I think he's the best. You know what? I hope next year Tony runs a one-off race again. I'd like to see that. And Tony, why don't you run one? We'll fly head-to-head every week. Come on, Tony. Show them. You have lost it so far. Have now to calling out nationalities. Oh, I'm calling out your nationality. I'm Belgian. You're Portuguese. You're not proud of your Portuguese? It is what it is, Tony. Funny. Tony can throw shit, but if you throw shit back, you don't like it. Oh, well, Tony. You're the man, Tony. Oh, by the way, Tony, do you want to come up with the transporter to verify the release? Because we know what you're going to say on next week's show.
What I want him here is, I want him here for basketing.
He won't come.
And I want him to sit beside the truck like a security guard to make sure.
He won't. He won't, because you know what? He's the keyboard warrior. And guys, on that note, hope you guys had fun tonight, because I really did. I enjoyed myself. Got the blood pressure up, not very much. Thought it was going to be a little bit more, but it wasn't. And hey, ba ba ba.
I'm Ryan from the Pioneer. Hope you guys learned a little bit about pox and see what douchebags look like. Thanks for flying with us, guys.